two gamblers working their way down the Missouri, the Mississippi River. That's why it's called Mississippi Grind. And I'm in one key scene playing a hand heads up with Ben Mendelsohn. Spoiler alert, I lose. I'm not the hero of the movie.
That's terrible. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
That seems like fun.
But I got a couple minutes of screen time, so that was nice.
Speaking of movie stars, we have a legitimate movie star among us. That's Jennifer Tilly taking her seat in seat number 5.
Yeah.
Like 4 hours. No, Joe, you're running the fight. This is the tip pot right now. This is the tip pot. There was 2 people walking, so we said we're going to do it on the next.
As I promised,
This is the tip pot.
the players are talking. We will do our best to keep our best to keep quiet.
Guys, whatever the first card is got to give the dealer $50.
Once again, Paul Harris, David Tuckman here for Poker Night in America, the cash game. Welcome to the show, guys.
One shot. You can tip me if you want. I usually like to give him a little extra if I win a nice session. But $50 and whatever card, the first card in the window.
I got to be honest with you. I am
20, yeah. How do you want it?
not happy to be up here, considering that Joe is back in the game.
Whatever, yeah. Give me 10.
Yeah, I bet Joe. By the way, Joe actually won a ton of money playing blackjack during dinner break.
Oh yeah,
and he is back fully loaded. I think he's in front of the 20K right now.
Well, now I'm really unhappy to be up here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would like one.
Over 12.
I'll have a cup of coffee.
You had a few interesting hands early on.
Yeah, a few.
Fold the nines, fold the aces, but then finally, but then kind of, stood your ground with 6-5 of all hands.
Yeah, got it in pretty good with 6-5 a couple of times and 10-7.
You gave him 5 too much, Mike. 5 too much.
Ended up, what, you made about $1,500?
No.
Yeah.
10.
Not a bad few hours work, right?
No, that was.
And you had
happy
fun?
with that. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. You're correct.
Okay, so you're giving him this.
There's no betting here, so they're just getting a change, I believe.
I'll bring him for 10, yeah.
Mike, you're not that dumb.
I have to have 3 bullets. Let's see.
I'm just trying to pass the IQ test. You guys folding?
Yes, sir.
HR Martian, Basket 487, Gore Fresh, Pocky Poker, Rad Poker, Name Skim, Lose, Coffee Nub, Rad Poker. Thank you guys for joining us in the Twitch chat. We are here for the next 3 days. 24 hours of cash game coverage here. Poker Night TV is the place to be here on Twitch.
I'm going to fold because I have no chips. Mike?
Credit's good.
You're Mike?
Lots of Mike and Mike on both sides.
What was your impression of the table?
Easy.
It was a fun table, mostly because of Mike, and Joe there in seats 5, 6, and 7.
Alex, Mike.
Very active.
Mike.
A lot of fun to listen to and talk. Didn't leave the rest of us a lot of spots.
All right.
But that's okay.
Hey, how are you?
Okay.
You pick your spots. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Joe's going to raise the 500. Back over to SIgel. He calls. Both players get a small piece of it.
Yeah. Phil's coming. He's bringing it to me.
Dipascale, obviously, a much larger piece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Phil.
That counts.
11.
All right.
Raise.
I re-raise.
3,000.
I re-raise.
Raise. What?
There's no problem getting chips in the middle in this game.
No, it was a slow go in the beginning, like everybody kind of feeling each other out.
The beginning was the first half hour. We had probably 3 huge pots. One guy got felted on the second hand.
But compared to later on.
Oh, yeah.
When the straddles and re-straddles started happening.
Yeah,
yeah.
You fold it. I will not hold it against you, just so you know.
Thinking of re-raising.
On a dry board like this, it's hard to imagine when 5-6 is ever good.
Right.
What's that red thing? Is that like a 25K?
5K.
Oh, 5K. Oh,
Chocolate.
chocolate's excellent. Chocolate sounds sexier than red thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Mike SIgel is thinking to himself here, I could make a move on this guy, but the problem is Joe is stuck so much, he's likely to call whatever Mike SIgel does.
Well, you can't make a move now. Joe's put in $9,100.
I know, but I'm saying he has no.
You could light the table on fire.
Right, you have very little fold equity against Joe under any circumstances right now.
Always have.
Right, when you say very little, you mean 0. I mean, let's
I'm gonna bust.
Let's be exact about that.
Yeah.
Very little equals 0.
Yeah.
Is this middle card?
No, it's the
Paul Harris, by the way, a very, very interesting man, has many, many stories to tell.
Mikey, why are you?
Unfortunately, you won't hear any of them today with the table talk that will be going on. But at some point, we'll have you on this show.
Okay.
And we'll hear some great stories.
I don't care about
Some,
money.
I know you've interviewed
What happened? Who had what?
some of the most interesting people, even outside, mostly outside of poker.
Yeah. In fact, I haven't had many poker people on the show in the last couple of years.
What?
The tip pot.
No.
Wow, you tipped that a lot, buddy.
I'll
Thank you.
Yes.
A couple people asking, they wanted you to talk about the ace-ace hand. We'll get into that. If the players ever quiet down,
That's not going to
we'll
happen.
fill in the space.
That's not going to happen.
I told you, go to the poker room.
No, I can't move.
He can't leave the table.
I mean, I'll be happy to talk about the ace-ace hand, but
I fought the fight. Thank you.
If you see a gap man, you just don't jump in there.
okay.
Me.
St. Louis still your home?
Yeah, still there. Still doing radio show.
Yes.
On Friday afternoons there.
Is your radio show available on the internet?
It is. It streams. If you get the radio station is KTRS. You can download their app and listen for free.
KTRS.
Alex?
Friday mornings?
Friday afternoons.
Friday
from
afternoons.
3 to 6 Central Time.
And what is your
I
show
got the
about?
new edition family here.
No poker. But
No
just,
poker.
Just about anything else. And since it's a Friday afternoon and people are getting ready for the weekend, we keep it silly.
Beat up a lot of people, so it's all good.
I also put a lot of podcasts up on my website, which is harrisonline.com.
harrisonline.com.
That's where the interview I did with you a few years ago is.
Yes. I remember my trip to St. Louis very well.
I've got a million.
Good read is right.
Oh, nice. I folded a king. That's how tight.
Marcus is going to win $25. He gets a walk.
Tight as
Yeah.
a water chest.
Now that's a satellite winner. New feature here at Poker Night in America. Pretty
No one
cool.
bought that since
At every stop,
1983.
we have a one-table satellite for all the locals to play in. Costs $1,000 to get in. The winner of that satellite wins $10,000, or technically $9,000, but can take their $1,000 plus their $9,000 in winnings and get in a seat here, play on TV, play on the live stream, and have a chance to turn it into even more. We had 2 satellite winners in Pittsburgh turn $1,000 into. One guy turned it into $17,000. Another guy turned it into $40,000.
Nice.
Pretty
Very
good
nice.
parlay.
Yeah, it's fun being hit by the deck, isn't it?
Or just play bad and get lucky. Either way.
Well, yeah.
Oh, Mr. Siegel.
When the Penguins coming out?
Ray.
Alex Rocha wearing the dope hat. As I pointed out the
Shots?
last
He
time
was in for a shot.
that I did a show with Alex Rocha in it,
I was drinking. I
pointed out if you have to wear a hat that
Fireball.
says you're dope, you're probably not.
Right?
Fireball round.
No,
I was the only one having fun.
come on, I can't.
4 players.
You
Everybody
would
else
hope
was
that there was a
looking
prop
like-
bet that he lost.
pay their rent.
That's why he's wearing the hat.
No, this is the second time he's worn it, so he's just putting it out there. I like the guy too. Big flop for Joe Dipascale. He has got a straight draw and a flush draw,
Yep.
Is it up to me?
and you can see he's 59% to win this hand. He doesn't
I
have a
like
pair
that.
yet.
Right.
Bombs away.
I'm so confused.
Rocha's going to play it pretty close to the vest.
In a minute, I just say.
Fairly a
I
tight
need to
player.
digest
I got to play day one of the World Series of Poker main event this year with him. He was on my left.
On the table?
So I played about 12 hours of poker with him.
Monster. You hit a deuce.
You get me for 30K.
I would have bought it if I loved you, but
Yeah, Joe's
Yeah.
fault there was
Yeah, they
he
do.
didn't let the other players have any
See that,
cards.
Will?
Straddle.
See that?
Straddle.
Drawing dead. That's how I put it in. Drawing dead. Siegel is drawing dead. Call it.
happened? We need to get you a shot.
Started losing.
We need fireball.
Right.
We need a round. You're such a dick, Mike. Seriously.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
This live stream will eventually become 2 poker
I'm never
night
busting this
shows.
game. They're so bad, these players.
My guess will be the 3 nights that we are here
Right.
will probably translate into 6 to 8 shows.
Raise.
Yeah, I believe 6 is kind of the average, plus or minus, based on how well they go. I'm sure Ladies' Night will probably generate extra episode than it normally would.
As well, they should. Those have been terribly entertaining. Very, very good
You don't
stuff.
have to.
I'm going to do my straddle.
You don't have to.
All right. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I've already mentioned that. So Ladies' Night, as tomorrow as well. All of these days are starting at about 12:30, 12:45 Eastern Time. That's when the live stream starts. And I will kick off Tuesday's show with shots on the table with the ladies.
Very nice.
That's how Tuesday will begin. So if you are interested in watching
2-3.
7 plus, because we'll have some substitutes, very entertaining ladies play poker all day, and listening to a drunk David Tuckman during the day, Tuesday, make sure you tune in.
Yeah. I hope that also gets posted on pokernight.com. So it's archived
maybe
forever.
back in the day,
All our
but
shows are archived forever on
over the
Twitch
course of my life,
and on our YouTube
I
channel.
Nice.
wouldn't say obviously, but I'm lifetime stuck for sure. You know how online they go, but how much did she lose? The answer is a horrible.
Paul, if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do it? HarrisOnline.com.
Yep.
Are you on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter at Paul Harris Show.
At Paul Harris Show.
No,
I'm,
I
of
did
course,
not.
at Tuck on
I
Sports.
came because I heard Will the Thrill was coming after dinner.
And we welcome
I
you
would
guys to
never
the chat
bump
guide,
Will the
the
Thrill.
chat as well. Dallop Guy, I am
What?
happy person. Poker
What?
4. YOLO
Wait,
swag.
I thought that
Welcome,
after
guys.
a while, you know, people leave and new people come in. I thought that's the way it worked. At
Seagull
poker.
raises with
How bad did he
300
have
with
to go to the
aces.
bathroom when he threw it
Straddled
out?
pot, so 25, 50, 100.
He must have really had to go.
I don't expect the left side of the
must have
table to
really
get
had
out of
to go.
order.
No,
I very much expect the right side too.
I was looking
absolutely.
forward to
How about top
catching up
set?
on old times with Will the Thrill.
For Seagull,
Will, are you hoping someone goes?
Laake, well, Locky's got some runner draws.
No, he doesn't.
Probably did. I
guy
mean,
threw
straight
one
draw,
hand
flush
last
draw.
time.
Come on.
People
Yeah.
bet top
The
set, like,
first
what are you
hand he
supposed to
threw
have?
away
Kings?
in 2 hours.
I just don't get it.
I called with my hand.
I like Seagull.
How sick?
See, that was my mistake when I had aces earlier. I
How
didn't
bad did he
flop
have to go to the
one.
bathroom?
Sick if you would have hit.
Well, that and you folded.
Yeah, he might
I
have.
folded a little river, yeah. I'll give you a very easy explanation for that.
Please do.
The guy who was in the one seat, Mike,
Mike, how sick is
I don't know
that?
his last
Laake.
name.
The guy
Okay.
straddled.
Had been playing a pretty reined-in game at that point.
Yeah, that's fine.
And had not gotten out of line and had not shown anything and had not played a lot of hands. And at that point, I got to give him credit for something. My one pair is unlikely to be good there.
Right.
And I'm
It
certainly
was a
not.
weird. It was a weird hand the way it played out because he decided to. For anybody who's just tuning in, and I will interrupt myself if interesting banter starts at the table or an interesting hand stops. But just to refresh the hand. So you had aces. You raised. Got a couple of calls.
Yep.
You got 3 calls to be exact.
I raised under the gun.
Right, and right away it was like, okay, you got 3 callers. Flop comes out a little bit wet. Flop comes out 8-5-4, 2 clubs. You have 2 aces. 1 is the ace of clubs.
Yep.
You bet.
Okay.
You get called by, I think
flop.
Seagull called you.
Correct.
And then Laake called
Yep.
instead of check raising
Right.
on an 8-5-4, 2 club board. Okay, the turn is a red jack, and now Laake leads out.
Back to even.
At that point, I'm curious, what did you think he had?
I put him on 4-5.
You have a little graph at the bottom of the screen.
So you don't think he check raises the flop on 8-4-5, but then leads out on it?
No, I think he does exactly what he did because at that point he's closing the action on the flop. Can wait and see
A safe turn card?
If a club comes on a turn, he can get away from it. But when the red jack comes off, it's clear sailing for him.
Okay, so he thinks, okay, I understand what you're saying. Maybe you put him on kind of a little pot control line, and then now leading out because he thinks his 2 pair is safe, so he bets, you call.
Correct.
Seagull gets out of the way, so now it's heads up.
Yep.
And the river came off, and it was a black 9, but did not complete the flush.
Correct.
And he bet.
He goes all in.
He goes all in, a huge bet, by
Yes.
the way.
Raised
Yeah.
300.
And you snap folded. I mean, it didn't even take you a second. At this point, you still think 2 pair. And was your attitude basically like, if the board doesn't pair or I don't catch my ace, I'm done with it?
The only thing he can have that I'm going to beat there is something like 8-7, where he flopped a top pair and a gutter ball. And I just don't like putting all my chips in that situation with one pair when I'm just not sure. I mean, he played a good line there and got me off of a monster.
And he's walking down the
So
hall, and there was a guy who was moaning.
Speaking of monsters, how about a set of deuces here for Dentale? Unfortunately for him, nobody's got much of anything.
I'm gonna.
If
hold on a second.
if there is a true poker god out there, Dentale will slow play this, and a 4 will fall on the turn
Yes.
or river.
500 to the back.
By the way, Tilly also in there with 5-8 of clubs. As you can see, not a very strong percentage that she's going to win this pot, but she's going to bet. Dentale does not slow play it. He raises right away, and you imagine the hand is over.
Right.
Okay, so if you put your opponent on 2 pair, why'd you even call the turn?
Because I wasn't 100% sure. I thought,
You wanted to see what he would do in the river.
Exactly. You know, maybe he's on the flush draw, maybe he's on anything else. I'm not too ashamed to admit I misplayed the hand. Because if I'm going to put that 800 in on the turn, I got to have a better plan for the river. And I didn't. And I'm not too big a man to say I blew it.
No, I mean, hey, listen. I can point to probably 3 to 5 hands every single session I ever play, every single one, where I misplayed something or I didn't play it optimally. So I wouldn't hammer yourself for that. We were curious of your reasoning behind the play and the thought process. His large bet size on the river, because he moved all in. I mean, he overbet the pot.
Yes, he did.
What did that? I mean, obviously you thought he had it and he was trying to get full value from you. You didn't think for a second that he's trying to push you out of it.
No, he either has it or he has nothing.
Right. Very polarizing bet.
Right.
Yes, much better, thank you. And then Phil went on his merry way.
And I've played with enough young pros who, in that situation, have it and do way overbet the pot to take it down.
Nub, you just scratched the air?
He scratched the air, there was no nub.
Now, I will tell you, if Mike Dentale or Joe Dipascale makes that move, I snap call.
Still, you feel it sometimes.
I would go on a limb and say that would be a very good call if Dipascale did it to you.
Yeah.
I would go on a limb and say it was probably a really bad call for Dentale.
Well, depends on how
Dentale actually does not. He gives off the image that he bluffs a lot. He actually, I think he's fairly nitty post flop.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, little T-Rex.
I think it depends on how tilted he is.
That's for sure.
And we saw it at least twice today.
Yeah.
He hasn't really bluffed much though.
No.
He calls off.
Yep.
Dipascale with 2 pair here, 10s and 9s, the queen kicker. As you can see, a strong favorite to win it. Thank you, Bud Smoker. Appreciate it, man. Poker saying, did Matt Glantz lose or leave? He never loses.
No.
As D Moon pointed out, he's got a golden horseshoe up his ass. He won about 13,000.
Check.
Dipascale
I'm just trying.
makes queens and 10s now. Rocha hits his queen as well, but you can see he's far behind.
Check. Got it.
That way you put a shirt with sleeves on? Because you got cold?
I'm freezing. I can't believe how cold it is.
I checked. Sorry. Oh, nice.
It is very, very cold.
Yeah, and when Dentale says he was very cold and so he put a regular shirt on,
Nice
those
jacket.
sleeves are only about 3.5 inches longer than the non-sleeves he was wearing before, so he's not really warmed up at this point.
You know what?
Oh, did
If I had arms like that,
Yeah.
I'd walk around naked.
Alcohol?
I would walk around butt naked.
No,
Yeah.
I'm in.
Well, yeah, we have to drink
I mean,
all
come
at
on.
the same time.
Are you kidding me? If I had Joe's body or Dentale's body, I'd walk around with no clothes on.
What about Jennifer's body?
Yeah, well,
Takes the edge off.
You don't have to drink it,
I don't
by
know.
the way.
I'm not
Okay,
gonna
so
answer.
you're not going to get in too much trouble?
Are you fucking serious?
No, Mike. No.
Mike.
Are you serious, Mike?
No, you gotta.
he's got
I
it.
will
I can't drink. I drank a ton and ate a ton. I'm dead sick right
Just
now.
eat.
Cheers.
That's it. Okay.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Chin down.
Yeah, cheers.
Huzzah.
Cheers.
All right. Cheers.
I want to see it go down, Mike. Come on.
By the way, Mike just said he can't drink.
I took a sip.
He took a sip and put it away.
I feel like I'm in college.
This is a little different than when I was out there because I haven't had a drink in over 22
I
years.
feel like I was in college
And
for the first time.
How many shots did you do?
None.
Oh, you didn't do any.
No. I had to clink with a bottle of water.
That's a good
I was
one.
drinking shitty vodka.
No,
You hadn't had a drink in 22 years. There's a reason for that, so
which we're not going to get into.
exactly. So you leave it alone there.
Yeah.
Really?
As far as I'm concerned.
Never went there.
I think I was 24 the first time I ever got drunk.
24?
Once again, Paul Harris alongside me.
How old were you when you first
You can check him out at
had
paulharrisonline.com.
24. 24. That's first drink.
Just leave the Paul off. Just make it harrisonline.com.
Right.
20, 19 or 20.
There you go. How about harrisonline.com?
There you go.
I was
Top
a good
pair
kid,
here for
man. All I did was play
Dipascale.
sports and-
Oh, really?
I never drank. I was drunk. Never
SIgel
home.
also a top
Just did my
pair.
schoolwork, played sports, and went home.
Your mom was so proud of you, and then you became a poker player.
Then as soon as I experienced it, it was
Turned
over.
20, that was it. Well done.
Alex Rocha, by the way, I make fun of him. I feel like I can make fun of people I actually like. Great kid. Sometimes I feel like you can't say kid without
Till this
sounding
day, I've
condescending,
never
but I don't mean that to be
never
condescending. He's
tried.
just a great guy.
Never.
Really.
Other than the player who was in the 1 seed who you said got in here on a satellite, have most of these other players been on Poker Night
we just
before?
never-
I don't recall.
I've never seen Joe Dipascale on the show before. I think he's new, but I think the rest of the table has been on the show before, at least once,
Like a little
or numerous
annoyed.
times.
Like,
It has that effect.
King 8's going to win this one.
You know,
Yeah.
different.
eights. Eights.
Kicker plays.
Pot after pot. All you do is win.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
What was the river bet?
1,000.
Wow, you called 1,000?
I do have to tell you
Yeah, I
something,
don't
David,
give a shit.
that I like about this, both as a TV show and as a stream. Being a cash game
top pair
player,
is good.
it's much more entertaining
make
to
a pair in
watch
this game.
this because people are playing much different hands than they would if you were watching a tournament or a tournament
Right, Will?
stream.
Right.
Not at the final table, but earlier on in the tournament. A lot of these hands that are coming up here, King 8 offsuit, 8-5 suited. You don't see a lot of that in tournament play as much as you do in cash action.
Like I think that
I tend to agree. I also like the fact that a live stream tells you the whole story. Sometimes when you edit down a show, there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
Poker Night in America does a very good job to try to tell a story.
Right.
But a lot of times, all poker producers out there are handicapped by the fact that they can only show so many hands.
Right.
So
And
they
you
show
wanna-
the all-ins, they show the big ones, and a lot of times in a vacuum, one hand can look very strange.
Yep.
But we give you the whole story by watching this, which is kind of cool. I like that. Tilly raises to 300 with the ace-9. This is a straddle pot once again, so we're playing 25, 50, 100.
experience did you get?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, 300 for the 3 players.
Oh, there was a little juice on that 300.
There will be later.
Yeah, too much of tournament poker TV is, okay, it's a pair of queens
What's the
against
score of
ace
the game?
king,
You check
and they're all in.
Right, exactly. Or they're 22 big blinds deep, and you get ace jack versus nines or whatever it is. I think it's great. I don't mind that. It's just
13-3.
it has its limits.
Right.
Rocha, open-ended.
14 halftime.
Be interesting to see how he plays this.
Pits up. Oh my God.
If he plays it aggressive, he'll win it.
San Fran.
He's out of position, though.
13 attack.
Heads up.
Tilly actually has the blockers. I was going to say she has the blockers to make it straight, but sure enough, just a pair of 10s is good.
Oh, wait. Pit's button, right?
Check, check.
Okay. That's good. I thought you said.
Oh, and look at that.
There's trouble.
Well, not really. I mean, Rocha's made, she's got so many aces in her range
Yep.
that, this is going to go check, bet, and probably fold. But, she's drawing pretty thin.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. An ace is no good. She's got to catch a jack
Right.
on the river.
It's a bad run out for me. It's actually not a bad run out for me. It's a better run out, for sure.
He's thinking, what could I beat?
Tilly does bluff, though. She's one that she likes to bluff. It just, when she bets the flop and checks back the turn, it's like...
And what does she have here that she's bluffing with?
I'll put it this way. If she had 2 5s, and she put a continuation bet out there, it's a mandatory bluff. It's a great bluff card for you.
Yep.
Because you're the player that's going to have an ace in your hand. It's a great bluff.
I can handle my river bets.
I
The
actually,
marijuana I can't handle.
I
I can handle
handled
river
it.
bets
I
pretty
should have bet 375. You would have been so curious. You would have had to call. I should maybe not have made the speech. I should have gulped a couple of times, and then check my whole cards.
Oh, you would have had me for sure.
Looked at
I might have
you.
raised it.
Sounds like a porno.
Yeah. Oh dear. I don't.
Your acting never ends, huh?
No, it never does.
Nice and
That
Different
was
watching
bad.
from this
That was
perspective,
bad.
huh?
Okay, from
Yeah.
now on, I'm not going to let you off.
Well, I had the pleasure of doing this once with you when you and Bart were doing Live at the Bike several
Yeah,
years ago.
many years ago.
You just like.
At some point, you'll have to come to Vegas and do the World Series with me as well.
Okay.
Introduced me to Straddle.
I got hours on end to fill.
Yeah.
Your stories,
Straddle? See,
Because-
like, I did all that work to get her to put a
Unlike
straddle in.
this
I can't
table-
waste my effort.
I can.
Oh,
Final
I know.
tables of
You're
tournaments,
gonna
nobody
be great.
talks.
So he's like,
Nobody
"You gotta
talks.
be
So-
able to
And
do
you know what?
it."
That was one of the amazing
Okay,
things
let's see what's happening
that bothered me when I played in the main event several years ago.
I'm gonna have to
I had a pretty good stack after day 1. I made it to day 2, and on day 2 at my table, no one said anything except raise or an amount. No one used a verb the whole day, Dave. It's just boring,
Yeah,
boring,
it can
boring.
be.
Marlboro lights, mainly. Started off with Farlands, though, for a couple of years.
Dentale's got the buffalo.
Tried quitting for the Millennium New Year.
Really?
All in?
And I went to
You're all
a
in? Yeah.
fish concert in the Everglades with 100,000 people. I came back and
And 2 pair.
I just couldn't do it.
Flush
So I
one.
said I was so mad at
A
myself.
2 and a 3?
I gave
Yeah,
myself
2 3.
the whole year. I said enjoy the cigarettes all of 2000. Put on gin.
All in and call.
You're quitting.
We can't see Dipascale's cards, but we'd assume that it's, we assume he has a pair.
He said 2 pair.
Look at
2 pair, wow, okay. So Dentale drawing to, there it is. It looks like, is it King 3 or King or 3 deuce? Either way.
You know, I'm a little
Dentale looking for a
stuck on
diamond,
this.
You know, Will.
and that is not a diamond. So Mike Dentale has been felted, and it's interesting enough that he bought in for 10K, worked it up to over 17,000 before eventually going broke. As far as I'm concerned, couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
You get really confused. They're like, oh my God. You know, like people watch this in the bars. So they're like, what?
You want 10 or 5?
I mean, it's like Mike Dentale. I just want to pour gasoline on him and light a fire.
Yeah?
I mean, I don't mean that literally, but it's like just tilt-wise. He's so much fun to watch when he loses.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He can burn up pretty good.
Yeah, I like to make fun of him, but he knows it's all in fun. At least I think he does. Either that, or you'll see me at the next stop with a black eye.
Incinerated me.
2, 3, 1, blast off.
I'm Barry Peak.
Asked for a cigarette. I was at 7-Eleven after the concert, smoking the whole bag then.
You hear him joking around. The 3, 2, 1 blast off.
Yeah.
You played together recently?
Yeah.
Will,
Do you have 2 phones?
playing good. 2, 3, raise it. 2, 3, flop.
Will, are you friends with Joe?
I'll tell you one of the things that was interesting about being at this table, and I commented on
He
this
said this
to
is you.
Mike.
Because you
Is it
thought you were going to
Laake?
be playing with your buddy
Yeah.
Joe, and now you're
We start with 7 players. It's the first time I've seen more than half of the table get felted at some point.
They should mic you up.
There were only 3 of us who
You
didn't
think
get
of something
felted in the
clever
first
to say?
half of the session today.
All during the, when I was watching a little
I didn't even realize that. That's kind of funny.
It's going
Yeah.
to be really great when Will gets there. It's going to be the best table talk ever. I was like, oh, I want to be there. So I texted
Yeah,
Matt.
Jake,
It's
Mike,
like, I
Mike,
wanna
and
play
Joe
with my
all
buddy
got
Will
felted at
right
some
now.
point.
10 behind me.
Oh,
I guess I got his spot.
Dentale has rebought. I don't know exactly how much for, though.
I'm really confused.
I like you, Mike.
So I think another 10K.
Raise it up, 500 for that.
You're the only one to ever admit that out loud.
Raise up with the 2, 3.
And he picks up pocket 8s and straddle. Oh, wow. This could be trouble for him. He's tilting a little bit.
Pick it on me, Jen.
We get a raise. We get a call. Tilly's got kings.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
15.
Wow.
That's going to save Dentale.
14,000?
Yeah.
Dentale might call this and then get blown out, which is the worst feeling in the world.
Yep.
It's one of the reasons why it's really hard to call with hands like this when you don't close the action and there's other players in there. Because you get a raise, you get a 3-bet.
That's 14.
If you're Dentale, yeah, you call a 1,400. Rocha's the original raiser.
Yep.
Sometimes he's going to have ace-jack here and just call. Sometimes he's going to have a bigger hand. Sometimes he'll just fold.
And how much does Jen have in front of her?
I mean, these guys, Tilly bought in for 10K.
Okay.
She lost a couple. Maybe she lost 1 or 2 hands. Maybe she's got 9,200 in front of her. Rocha's got them both covered. He's got 15K. Those orange chips are 1K each. The purple chips are 500. Action is on Dentale right now. Tough spot.
What do you do with 8s when it's been 3-bet ahead of you on a straddle?
Yeah, I think when you don't close the action, you've got to fold this. You're also not deep enough to really set mine.
Yep.
You only have 10K in front of you, so.
And you're in for 100.
Yeah, people always say that. Though I don't really subscribe to that theory. To me, if some people are like, well, why call 15,000 if I'm only in for 100? I'd be like, well, if I have a chance of winning the hand, I'm going to call.
Right.
I mean,
No.
but in this particular spot, I don't close the action. I'm not deep enough to set mine. It's a nice laydown.
I'm agreeing with everything you're saying.
No, feel free to disagree, please.
No, you're right.
But you know the old adage of like, let's say the pot's $140 and a guy goes,
Thank you.
he bets 3,000. You're like, I'm only in for 140. Forget it. Well, if you think you're good,
Yeah.
the pot's now 3,100. Try to win it.
Of course. Or if he's deep enough behind to make it worth it to go set mining.
Pittsburgh.
Rocha just calls. He sets the trap. He's in position.
Drive in the second half.
And it's a good flop. It's a great flop for Rocha. He certainly did not want to flop a set there. No aces, no kings, no queens. And it's going to be very, very difficult to imagine a scenario where
me.
Tilly does not double Rocha up.
Come on, son. Getting a little professional now.
Do you have any more
I'm
big
going
chips,
too.
Jen, or is-
Yeah.
I'm like 6 and change.
Yeah, I'm going to leave.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can I go to eat?
Now, this is the interesting play. If you think Tilly is going to double barrel with her bluffs, you probably just call.
How are you? Yeah, thanks, bud.
If you think she's one and done, and she's not going to raise it, and she's not going to keep betting, and you keep bluffing at it, you might as well raise here because she's good. She's not going to put more money in unless she's got an overpair.
Right.
And let's say she's got jacks here. You don't want to let a random queen, king, or ace come off to kill your action. But it kind of depends on what your read is of her. If you think she's going to double barrel bluff with her ace queens, or her king queens, or whatever she might have, then you're happy with it.
I haven't eaten yet.
She's got a little bit over. I think she just checked.
Looked like it.
Yeah.
And now because he flatted pre, that's a card she's got to be a little bit worried about.
Yeah, but
a little bit.
No, he checks it back. I don't like the check back by him. Now the board gets a little bit more scary.
Yep.
And she checks one more time. Very aware of the fact that in a 3-bet pot he could have queens, jacks. Remember, she can't beat now. She can't beat aces. She can't beat queens. She can't beat jacks.
Yep.
And can she really get value from 10s and 9s? I think he had it. He needed to bet the turn there, build a pot up. Not a lot, but I'm betting 2,500 on the turn. Make sure I get it all in by the river. I don't mind the flat on the flop if you don't think she's going to double barrel her bluff. I mean, if you think she might double barrel bluffs. But I think the turn when it's checked to me, I've got to put a small bet out there and build the pot up.
All right, Bowman, that's on board.
That's when I put it in there.
Oh, what's up?
King beat a girl. I woke up the night. I called her. A fucking psychopath ex-boyfriend was there and told her, who the fuck are you?
It's another one of those situations where you've got that
What a nutbag.
Cowboys and just can't be happy. And she's not.
Not a good run out for you.
What?
Not a good run out for you.
I don't know. I'm thinking you have a set of jacks or a set of queens. But I kind of have to call. So I call.
I have aces.
Aces? Wow. So I saved myself $300 with my incredible cleverness, right?
Yes.
Wow. What's your name? You're fired. I'm sorry, what's your name? Janice.
Janice, you're hired.
Check on the turn?
They actually are
check on the
making
turn?
her leave because
I
of that
know,
right now.
she's the best. Janice, that's for you, thanks. Thank you very much. I mean, thanks for
She
not
saved herself about 3,000.
Yeah, you think if
Wow.
Rocha bets the
That
turn,
was really
going in.
incredibly ugly.
What happened? What, check on the turn? Is that how it
Check, yeah.
Wow, I was thinking he had, like, I thought if I checked, he would bet. If you went all in on the turn, it was all going in.
there you go.
Then
course
the
it is.
river, then I started thinking, like, well, maybe he has pocket queens. And I thought, I'll check to induce a bluff. And then I thought, oh, because then my plan was to, like, push, because obviously you're pot committed. But something said, stop, Jennifer. Wait.
It's better since they're singling.
Good
instincts by her.
No, I wasn't tingling at all until, like, the very end.
It is done.
You had 8-10, so you would have had, like, a straight.
Straight draw on the river.
No.
You would have had nothing at the end?
How are you, sir?
I wasn't
adds
saying
nothing
it.
to the story.
Yeah, I
No.
wasn't.
Mike,
I
please
wasn't-
got longer,
I was
man.
just telling Mike.
You had 8-10, no way. You would have made nothing.
I would have made it sock.
How does that help the story? It doesn't help the story at all.
I ruined your
My
story.
story is interesting. I saved $3,000, kings versus
By switching
aces,
to checking.
by being as tight as a water chestnut.
You did great.
Big, straddle, restraddle.
Your story is not good. I had ace-10 and I would have made nothing on the river.
Oh, yeah? Well,
That's her new nickname, by the way. Jennifer tight as a water
I have
chestnut Tilly.
10,000 behind. I'm going to take it out of my shoe. So,
Straddle and
wait,
double
after
straddle
this
or
half.
just-
Somehow that sounds far
After
dirtier
this
when I
half,
repeated
got
it.
my card.
I was just
know
thinking that, and that's why I remained quiet.
Wow.
Yeah, that was an interesting hand. I mean, on the river, as I pointed out, it's a spot where
The beginning of a long, profitable evening.
if it's a legit 3-bet call, and you assume it would be from Alex Rocha, he's not calling 3-bets with
I am
like,
going.
you know, a lot of hands.
Yes.
The thing is,
I love that.
if he's got 9s and
I'm going
10s,
to, I'm going to make it 600.
he's probably not calling a bet on the river, and he's probably not betting either.
Yeah.
And
It's not a good run out for any underpair for him to bet there.
no, right, and it's also not a great it's not a great run out. It's a terrible run out for kings as well.
Now, if he has ace-king, he might play it that way.
After you'd already put it in.
Well,
I should have said
that's the only way he's
yeah.
gonna win on the
To me,
river.
I was returning the favor.
And
The thing
you-
is,
But he
if he has ace king though,
Be quiet, everybody.
he's not calling. I don't know if he's even
I think
calling
we
the
should be able
flop.
to U-turn
And maybe he
before
is, but if he's
notifying
remember,
you
he's
to
probably
stay
going to take a shot at it on the turn. Remember,
What's
when he
so
checks
important?
back the
Checks
turn,
the call in every
he's
3
telling the
minutes.
story that I have showdown value.
Distract-
Because if he was
turn it up.
bluffing,
Joe thinks I'm
he
not
would have used the
bluffing.
turn as an opportunity to
Okay, I'm
bluff.
gonna make
Yep.
it, 1,000.
Like he's not going to float there and then not bet.
Right.
So it just doesn't, something, he clearly has showdown value when he checks, when he calls the flop and then checks back the turn, he always has some showdown value.
Not much. I have this much left.
And if he has showdown value and then he's still betting the river, it's like,
What? I don't have a whole lot of info.
as strange as it seems, I think a really, really experienced no-limit hold'em cash game player, this is no slight on Jennifer Tilly, I think a really experienced no-limit hold'em player might have been able to find a fold in the river. Simply because you go, I don't think he's bluffing. I don't think he's turning nines into a bluff. Most players don't do that.
Sergio, come on, Sergio.
I think he always has showdown value.
Do something
what can I beat?
for
And
Tilly.
exactly. At this point,
What is
what
that?
can you
That's
beat?
like nothing.
An ace-queen,
Need a 4.
I need a
it's
four,
hard to
and
imagine
only
that he
a four
got
will
to the
face
river
me
with
down.
ace-queen.
I think the 4 spades.
So it's like, wow, what can you beat?
I agree.
That said, it's hard. That was a tough laydown. She had kings.
Well, you're up.
The fact that she did not go broke on that particular hand, good for her. Unfortunately, she is going to go broke on this hand. And 10K lit on
Do you
fire.
think that was a bad beat, kings versus aces?
I would say so.
Did you see how cleverly I played that?
I don't know if I describe it as a bad beat, more of a cooler.
Yeah.
All right, I'm putting 10 down.
Tilly in for another 10K, so she's in for
Cal,
20K.
he keeps calling me.
She had a rough go of it in Pittsburgh,
Okay.
too, and she's right out of the
Ooh,
gate,
give me chips.
quickly down 10, so you don't like to
I
see
need
that
like some
if you're a Jennifer Tilly
I
fan.
got you.
5 in orange and then some blackies.
Want 4 and like something else?
Here's another. Yeah, here's another thing. Maybe we'll get a stack of something.
Not 2 things.
Right. What? That's yours.
How much is the straddle? 7,000.
You're trying to say that, right?
Yeah, I always straddle. Not 10,000.
Not yet.
Don't straddle
I mean, later on
10,000.
in the night, I'll probably do it.
Bastard Kid 86 says that's 100% how you play ace queen versus Tilly there. We can agree to disagree. I'm fine with that.
All right.
I don't think Rocha's playing ace queen like that against her very often.
Is that right?
I hope so.
No, that's not right. How much is that?
Thanks, Sergio.
He's calling a 3-bet, flatting a flop on a 5-5-6 board, then checking back on the turn when the jack hits,
That's 49.
and then betting the river.
Now give her another 100.
Give me another 100.
Okay.
It wouldn't be the first time I've seen it.
Hey,
See how he takes
I've seen
the
everything.
pictures?
I did.
Look
So,
at that.
I gotta make some
I'm
money
never
from
shocked,
that.
but it would surprise me if he showed up with ace queen there very often.
What? What?
Yeah, now you owe another 5.
Wait, I gave you 10K.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Oh my
coming,
God.
it's coming.
Mike, thank you. Oh my God, I'm exhausted.
No, she's got 15.
Okay.
Good?
All right, yeah.
We good?
Yeah, she's in for 15,000.
What? So I made it.
If you're just joining us, green chips 25, black chips 100,
I called it 300.
orange chips are 1,000, and if you see any purple chips, there aren't that many in play. Those are
I was so
$500
happy. I
each.
had all the chips. I was in the tournament. I only bought it for 2 bullets. I thought I'll save money and we'll play poker night in America.
You can't take the strap.
The internet kids won't snooker at
Lucky
me.
raised to 300.
Now here I am.
All right, guys.
All right,
Call.
let's go. Oh, it's just you and me. All right.
Heads up here. Lucky versus Tilly. Tilly
gotta
with
go?
the old 6-7.
Okay, bye. Oh, you're going?
I gotta go to dinner.
Why?
Am I allowed to go to dinner?
No, you're not allowed to go to dinner. No.
Dinner breaks over.
Absolutely not.
No?
No dinner.
I assume Mike SIgel
No.
is going to dinner.
No. You cannot take a player from the table. Get him out of
Bring
here.
in Mamarano here for him.
Will the throw.
Bring him back, Santa.
Out. Go. Goodbye. What are we gonna do? We're gonna play with like an empty space here? No.
Go jump back in the game.
Go get him
I'd
some
like to.
lasagna meatball. Bring it to the table. Have you ever seen the show? We're always eating at the table. Everyone eats at the table. Isn't that right?
See in or out.
He's not Lincoln.
I gotta go to dinner.
No,
I
no,
really
no.
do.
No, no.
I have to. Yeah.
All right.
Good to see that.
I'll play this.
Okay. Well, it's been nice playing with you, Joe.
Jen,
You sure?
you were the.
Yeah.
Apparently, I think it's Joe or Mike. I'm not sure. One of the players is going on a dinner break.
Joe.
We'll obviously figure out in a second. So Joe's going on dinner.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll come back.
You
For
know,
those of
Will's
you who
gonna
are
take you in
getting
an
timed
alley
out
and,
or
like, knock
deleted
you
your
out, and he's gonna
messages,
be like, oh,
and you don't think you're
decided
going,
not to go to
our
sleep
move
till
bot
the
is
sun. So I'm taking his place.
pretty strict.
I won't be that long.
Oh, yeah,
Not much we can do
I
about
promise
it.
I
Oh,
won't.
I bet you will.
I promise.
You know, we're only playing
Right now.
till 8 o'clock. So
No,
what
it's
time's
not
it?
late.
Why can't you dinner at 8 o'clock?
Yeah,
late.
dinner at 8.
Oh, well, then I don't even care then.
Gallop guy says, if
care
you're
about
folding
what?
kings on that board the way they're
Dinner?
playing today, you are just giving your money away. I tend to agree, but you've got to realize who played the hand. Alex Rocha wasn't,
I'm only
he's
gonna
not
play
one of
the
those
top.
guys that's been here.
That's
He just
correct.
joined the game 30 minutes ago.
I'm coming.
Just aces.
Yeah.
And you haven't seen him be wild. You haven't seen him
How about
show.
you?
Yeah, if that hand was played against the guy we're looking at here, Joe Dipascale,
Yeah.
much different scenario.
Well, that's what I was saying about
I'm
my
fist
eight.
pump getting in with kings,
That's
right?
what I was saying about my aces
Ever,
before.
ever, my
You know.
friend,
Will can't get in our game, so he wants to ruin it. He's like, hey, buddy, let's go somewhere else.
Welcome,
Take this show on the road.
Yeah, let's go play craps. Fuck him.
Jay Sassana, you are not only allowed to say tight as a water chestnut, you are encouraged to say it.
Phil said he was going to bring me some makeup.
Yeah. Oh,
In fact, I think we should name this episode "Tight as a Water Chestnut."
shall I there?
Can we push for that? Queen 10-8 rainbow board. Looks like Dipascale with the best of it right now. The pair of eights. Nobody loves their hand.
Is there context for the water chestnut remark?
No, that's the whole point of it.
Uh-huh.
If there's no context, it's much better.
Okay.
It's like on the floor in the corner. Thank you.
Pot after pot, crushing the game.
Thank you. I like to be on a set because when you ask people for things, they just bring them.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens
Last
to
hand.
Phil.
I don't think I can get aces versus kings and not straddle.
One of the people on the comment stream mentioned that people need to learn to respect women because they're going to be a big part of poker in the next few years, and the game needs to change. I would just comment on this. People have been saying that more women were going to be playing poker for the last 15 years,
Somebody can
and still
go
every
get
year
my
at the main
makeup,
event,
get
it's
my makeup
3%
for
women,
me.
3% women, 3% women. I would love to see
but I'm
more
shiny.
women at the table.
Yeah, there's nothing
But
worse than seeing
I can
somebody
tell you that in
shiny
the
on
cash
TV.
games and the casinos that I've
Okay, I'm
played
gonna
in,
call.
they are
This is like a
still
big game. This
in
is not
far
a
too small a
professional
number,
game. This is
and we
like
do need to have more of them.
25.
Yeah, we have touched on this topic ad nauseum today, so I don't even want to go into it anymore. I will say the more women play today
Can't count.
Yes?
than ever before.
Yep.
And
Okay.
But it's still a
Believe it
very
that.
small number.
History.
It is.
Mike doesn't believe in history.
so if you're a woman and you play poker, play more.
I have to find out what
If you're a
happened
woman and
to
you
Phil.
don't play
He's not a
poker, start playing.
responsible
Yeah.
boyfriend at all. He probably
Play
totally
cash games.
forgot.
Time to hang it up.
Yeah.
Most importantly, play with me. I mean, if you're not very good, then find me and play with me. If you are good, just
Can
avoid
I
me.
get some of those stacks?
Guys, that's what I like.
What stack would you like?
The black one.
This is a raise to 300 and a
I'll
call.
take 5 in a stack.
Many call. Looks like
They don't give me a chip stack that'll look good on TV
like-
if people don't know.
there's a bunch of orange chips in front of Dentale. I don't know what he's doing there.
I don't know what that is.
Dentale with top pair, but Rocha has flopped.
See it in a year and a half.
Oh, lordy.
Four.
Rocha's flopped the flush.
Oh my God! Tell you
I guess this is Alex's day to make money. It's Alex's day to like get gifts.
Yep.
Thank you.
Does it burn even more that Alex is in your seat?
It doesn't feel good.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't care about
That
the
this should be your money you're making.
That's what
Like
I'm
you
thinking.
should have had aces
And I
versus
personally
Tilly's
like to
kings,
have it
Yeah.
for
and you should be flopping a flush here.
Yeah.
Count it down. Take your big chips.
Dentale, top pair with a 9 of spades. He actually does have
You know what's
outs
really good over there?
against
They have
Rocha's
a steak,
spades.
And it's like covered in butter and garlic.
What have you been out there,
and
600?
bread. It's really good. It's an appetizer.
Looks like
It's called
800.
yummy.
We'll get word of that in just a second. That is 600. Good count. Good eyes.
Everything's good. The shrimp, I swear. The shrimp.
Rocha just
Yeah.
calls.
It has big cloves of garlic.
Yeah, we're gonna get that fixed for you in a second.
You-
Oh, and there's the ace of spades.
Wow.
Did you say Scampi? And then what did you say?
Oh, my legs itch.
My assumption would be, Dentale's going to check this back, and then probably.
Not here.
I think if he checks it one more time, you can probably bet for value for Dentale.
2, 4, 6, 8, 85.
It's a little thin, but maybe you get a hero call.
There's 9.
The ace on the river just makes
Actually,
it
make
check,
10.
check.
It's 10,000 right there.
Two big chips.
Cool.
Bring it back 10.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That was a bad one. Not for you.
The old
Hey,
queen
hey,
9
good luck.
offsuit.
If I don't see you guys, if I don't see you guys again,
See you a little while, Joe.
who gives a fuck?
Joe, hold my 5,000. Give it back to me later.
Hey, hold this. Good luck.
So apparently Joe Dipascale will not be coming
Oh yeah,
back.
my bag.
We might get Will the Thrill in there. We'll see exactly who takes his place.
More digits than there are.
I assume we got someone in. There's like a million people that want to play.
Yeah, they're gonna put.
He's bringing the makeup bag to me approximately 6:40 p.m.
Sure, it's not gonna be the same.
Wow, you got 12 more minutes to sweat.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Joe.
What was awkward?
Raise.
Everything we just witnessed.
Still within your shot.
What happened? What did we win?
Everything. That's the nuts.
Oh, I wasn't witnessing anything. What? What?
Very interesting to see the way Mike SIgel has pulled back big time, considering in that first half hour and then even later he was so active. And now, not only is he not playing many hands, he's also quiet, which is out of character for him.
All afternoon. Oh, wait till Will gets here after dinner. It's going to be... Oh, all right, thank you.
She wants to keep him for a couple hands.
That's for you. Every time he has to ask me to do something that I should be doing on my own,
Color
he's
flip
getting
one
it
back.
to- What? Okay.
Oh, that's another quarter.
Or put two.
Okay.
That was an assist.
Now, you can save me money if you tell me stuff that I'm supposed to be doing instead of Sergio.
Would you rather I save you money?
Yes.
Okay, all
No,
right, all right.
if you say, Jennifer, you forgot to put your ante in or something like
I would
that.
probably
You
just
forgot
do
the
it.
straddle.
Yeah, right.
Jennifer, you forgot to straddle.
That's not a given, but I will
Yeah,
straddle.
guys, come on. That would be absurd.
Everyone at this table is
Straddle.
hoping that the new seat 7, whoever it is an action player, because they just lost the biggest action player in the game.
He just left. He just got here, and then he just left.
Beat me for 6K.
Yeah, although you could argue that Tilly gives him a run for his money.
You got
Well, because
That's
he
for
was
sure.
winning.
He didn't beat you.
What?
Didn't you give him? He lost 6K to you before.
I have been informed Jake Schindler will be back and taking seat 7 in just a little bit.
If I get back,
And the one hand that he decided
So apparently
to go
Jake
to
Schindler is going to be joining the table once again.
the one hand he
He was down, I want to say probably 10, 12K over the first few hours of play. Ace-6 deuce.
Everybody gets dealt it.
Nothing,
That usually everybody.
Nothing really there for anybody. Tilly's got a pair of 6s. She's going to bet 200.
Yes.
I think he was dealt in.
He wasn't. In that hand particular.
Really? It was a misdeal.
No wonder you have 3 aces.
Yeah.
It should have been a
I knew
misdeal.
something was wrong.
Can I get a whoa?
Once again, Poker Night in America, the cash game. Paul Harris, David Tuckman here. 2550, no limit
So,
hold'em.
is somebody else
We're at the
coming to
Seminole
take
Hard
his place
Rock
because
Hotel
he
and
didn't
Casino
even
in
save his
Hollywood,
place?
Florida.
I'm sure they're gonna.
You said they leave
We're
the
here
money
for the
in
next
and I
2
said,
days,
"Oh,
actually.
put it under glass."
So a full 8 hours of cash
Who's
game
coming?
action
His
today.
show?
8 hours tomorrow and 8 hours on Tuesday. Tuesday, ladies' night, aptly starting during the day.
Mm-hmm.
He had sorted it.
Uh-oh.
For sure.
I've noticed quite a few players playing that Queen 8, which we call the Buffalo in St. Louis. Did you hear me tell the story about the Buffalo earlier today?
No.
This goes back about 25 years when a guy by the name of Don, who lived in St. Louis and was a local player, told his wife he was going out to get some milk, and instead he went to Las Vegas and played poker for 3 years.
Gotta make him take a shot.
And he did okay for a while, and eventually
He just
went
came
broke.
up with a free shot.
But while he was there playing
Or did he pay for the shot?
at the Mirage,
Oh, they're not?
he ran into a guy from the city of Buffalo, New York, whose favorite hand was Queen 8. Suited or unsuited, it didn't matter.
When would you have to pay for the
And whenever he would win with it, he would slam the cards down face up and say, "You can't beat Buffalo."
Tipped.
And so
What?
Don remembered that story and brought it back with him when he eventually came back to St. Louis.
Yeah,
And
but
by
you're
the way, when
supposed to
Don
get
came back to
tips,
St.
right?
Louis, he was
Come here.
so broke that he had enough money in his pocket for a bus
yeah,
ticket
but that
and
was
either
not for the shot,
a
that was
sandwich
for the
or a
water.
pack of cigarettes. Guess which he bought, the pack of cigarettes. And when he came back to St. Louis and he told us all about this guy from Buffalo, the hand became the Buffalo, and it is still a regular thing in St. Louis for people to play Queen 8.
Who's coming back?
And when they
No.
win with it, it's almost a law that you have to turn it face up
Is this
and
Schindler
say,
like some kind
"Can't
of
beat the
pro
Buffalo."
person, or-
Can't beat the
Probably
Buffalo.
accurate.
I love the fact that
We lose
almost
Joe.
every poker hand has a name.
Yeah.
And I have never heard of the Queen 8 being the Buffalo. Good
Yeah.
to know. I mean, I know like Ace Queen is walking back to Houston.
Probably as much as who?
I mentioned it
There's always a
earlier.
good story behind every single hand.
Doesn't
Well,
matter.
I mentioned it earlier because when Jake Schindler was playing
I'm just trying
to my
survive
left,
the day.
he won a hand with the Queen 8 of hearts.
Tiny bankroll win.
And I told the story to the table
Ah,
there.
yeah. Well, no, I finished my name with it. Yeah. I am
By the way, when Don finally did come back, I wish that his wife had said, "Where's the milk?" after 3 years.
I know exactly. If you're going to come back, hey, where's the milk? SIgel, every once in a while, you mentioned, hey, where is he? Every once in a while, he'll kind of come out of the woodworks and play a hand. And here it's the ace deuce. On a dry board, I mean, there's not really any draw out there.
Well, he does this a lot, betting out with.
Well, he raised,
As
actually.
soon as he flops a pair, he falls in love with the board and wants to try to run you over a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of a let me find out where I'm at thing. He's going to keep firing, and it's going to be really tough for Rocha to fold. I mean, to call this. You know, you get raised in the flop on a Jack-4 deuce, very dry rainbow board.
Yep.
Hard to imagine Queen Jack being good here.
Right.
I mean, you think, you know, sometimes when there's a draw out there, you can think, okay, my opponent's semi-bluffing with a flush draw or straight draw. But on a board like this, you think, man, what is he doing this with? I mean, does he have a set of deuces, a set of fours? He can't really. I mean, there's really no hand that Rocha can beat that makes sense. But enter SIgel stage left.
Yep.
And you see that he plays a hand very unconventional, in a very unconventional manner. And it makes it difficult. I think Rocha folds this. I'd be shocked if he called.
He's trying to find a call, but he's not going to. And now Mike starts talking.
Now, we saw him talk earlier when he had it, and he was so confident.
Yep.
I wanted to see if he could keep the same confident demeanor when he's bluffing. And look at this, Rocha calls.
SIgel particularly talked a lot when he was in the hands against Dentale. He likes to prod him.
Yeah, but he always had it then.
Yeah.
Notice how he started talking and then kind of stopped.
Yep.
Oh, and he hits it anyway.
Wow.
Now, this is one of those spots where, hey,
6 down.
anytime you have a bluff and you get there, continue, because if your opponent is bluff catching you, sometimes it happens where you're bluffing with a king high and you run into a weird king that makes no sense.
Yep.
I'm always a big fan. Hey, bet that, because you can get some value. And this is a spot where if a deuce had rolled off or an ace rolls off, the ace doesn't really complete anything.
No.
5-3, I guess, got there. Now, I mean, if you're Rocha, you can't even beat the 5-3.
No.
Rocha might hero call him. I mean, I thought he was going to fold the turn, but now that he does call the turn, he's going to let that one go.
I think it's a very hard card to call on the river. It doesn't complete much of anything, but still.
Hey, give Alex credit. Alex called the flop when he was good, called the turn when he was good, and then folded the river and he was no good.
I was on this. I had deuces.
And the Mike SIgel truck just continues to roll along. We're six-handed.
That was like an old Western. Play another one.
Yeah, he had me to the river.
Yeah.
He knew it, I think, unless he just had a flush draw.
No, sir.
Yeah, I figured that.
And there is another difference between cash games and tournament. In tournament, those chips are all so valuable. In cash games,
No, I hit aces.
not so much, but still you
No
can
aces up is good.
throw it away and play again another day.
Well, no, in half an hour.
Look for another spot later on.
You get your little-
It's got to be a little frustrating for Alex. I mean, he bought him 15,000. You get aces versus kings. You don't get all of Jennifer Tilly's money. Then you flop a flush and you lose that one.
Yep.
And here, makes a great call on the flop with the raise, then calls it, makes a great call on the turn
Get another person.
with the best hands. And he's probably
Yeah.
either close to even or down now.
Alex and a Jeff.
Yeah.
Which, considering how the first hour has gone after dinner break, that's got to be very disappointing.
SIgel did that exact same line against me when I had a bigger 7 than he did, and he bet it out, and I just called behind and
Steaming now, are you?
No, sir.
called the turn. And on the river, he made 2 pair and checked, unlike what he did here. He checked, and I checked behind, and
You'll
he
get
was
it back.
good. But it was the same line. He had a piece of the flop, and he was going to go with it.
Take this game back to the poker room.
What?
We'll take this game back to the poker room.
The game isn't over until we run out of money.
We're playing mixed game after this game.
Mixed?
Yeah, mixed game.
Oh, I'm not so good at that. Omaha?
But
2 studs in Omaha.
Dentale with a pair of 10s, only 1 overcard.
5 cards.
He's going to call it 600.
Two studs.
No one under 50.
He's not convinced yet that he's behind.
Yeah.
Rocha, you might be thinking Rocha's tilting.
Play all the time.
That's who used to play stud all
Rocha's a
the
pro,
time.
though.
Playing 2 studs,
Yeah.
Omaha and deuce, 2 draw games or something, like Badoogie and deuce. And
Sure.
we're playing after,
What are the stakes?
like 150 or 2-4. I don't know. They just texted me they were going to.
Action on Rocha.
Phil from Zag,
You going to bet again here, or you going to check it back?
I'm going to bet it again.
There might be like
That 3 means
young-
nothing.
There might be one guy under 40 in there.
Try to get value from like 10-7, 6-7, 10-jack,
King 10.
King 10, Jack 9.
$1,500.
There you go. Bet and a quick call. Dentale, you're drawing real thin, only a 2-outer, and the way I kind of expected a 10 to go the way Rocha's running right now.
Yep.
Can't say. Somewhere in Florida.
Now, what do you do here if Dentale checks it to you?
Yeah.
You bet again?
It's pretty thin. I mean, you're literally only getting value from King 10.
His brother.
I tend to value own myself a ton.
Yeah. And his mom's, she's retired. She's a mom.
Okay. Moms do.
Yeah.
You know, but you wouldn't think that you could get 3 streets of value from, jacks or 10s or something like that.
Right.
You know what? I've met a couple Freds in my day.
He's here. Fred's from Florida.
I mean, it depends on what your image is.
Double F.
Yeah.
This is still on Dentale, right?
85 or
It is. No, I think, it is still on Dentale. And I think it depends on what your image is, how a triple barrel would be perceived. I mean, if my opponent's seen me bluff a lot, I'd be more apt to bet thin here, try to get value.
Can you imagine?
It is on Rocha.
He's going to bet. I mean, I think if you've just lost a few hands,
I mean, you look great.
it might be perceived that, look at that, Dentale's going to pay him off. If you've just lost a few hands, it might be perceived that you're tilting. Maybe you can get a little thinner value. It's a nice thin value bet from Rocha.
I know,
Well played.
That's a very player-dependent thing.
He's playing poker and looking good at 86.
He's just really sharp
Right,
and
right.
energetic.
I knew it.
Non-feeble.
I have to explain a lot of stuff to these guys.
Bill and I think a lot about getting older now. What are we doing?
That was an interesting call there with pocket 10s.
Yeah, especially with a small bet. I didn't like it when Rocha bets so small in the river. I think the play for Dentale was either check raise or fold.
Yeah.
I think calling is actually the worst of those 3 options.
I agree.
I just think when the $1,200 bet by Rocha was clearly thin value, and it kind of looked like exactly what he had, whether it was King Queen, King Jack, something along those lines.
Yeah, your 10s are never good there.
No.
4,000 black and 1,000 green.
But the lady, it took a really long time, and the lady only had time to do one hand.
I mean, keep in mind, by the way, Rocha bet 1,500 on the turn, and then he bet 1,200 on the river.
Yeah.
Bet smaller on the river. It's like this small, tiny little bet, like, please call me.
Yep.
Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you just got to try to figure out what your opponent's trying to acclish. And once you get to that level, it's like, okay, this makes sense. What does he want here?
You need him in there with the 3 deuce.
You missed before you left. He was raising 2.
Is he betting 1,200 behind with less than 10s? What would he have? 9s, 8? He'd have to have 7s?
No, he'd be bluffing. I mean, it's either under bluff, but if he was bluffing, you'd imagine he'd probably bet more.
That's what I think.
He raised 3,500 blind one.
Yeah, and a couple people pointing out, Basher Kid 86 points out a great point. Something that I talked to Scott Seaver about this summer, having blockers to the bluffs your opponent might have. One of the bluffs that your opponent might have there is Jack 10, straight draw.
This is the only guy you could find?
But as Basher Kid points out so aptly, Dentale has blockers to that. He's got 2 10s in his hand, so it's very unlikely your opponent has Jack 10.
I don't ever want to play with
Even more of a reason, and by the way, also a reason why maybe a check raise in the river would have worked, because you're the one who can represent Jack 10.
Right.
This guy got me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
They were just watching a little bit. They go.
I also think the check raise could work because it's not unreasonable that Dentale has an 8 there.
They said poker night in Brooklyn. That's what they said.
Yeah.
They said poker night in Brooklyn.
I say, hey, anything's possible.
And then they're good.
I mean, I think if he's check raising the river, he's representing Jack. He's representing Jack 10.
And then they kept going,
Personally.
oh, Sam. They were all trying to figure out if Sam was dating anybody because everyone thinks she's like really hot.
I thought a fold was fine.
I don't even remember
Yep.
what
I think a check raise is fine.
But the call is, we both agree.
You're lighting money on fire.
Yeah.
Mooley says, Dentale is going to jump out a window and then yell at the window for being in its way.
I said call.
Yeah, but he has to come in to replace the window.
Good. No, right. Good point there. Tilly with a pair of aces. Laake.
I can.
Laake's going to fold.
I'm so annoyed. This is like annoying.
By the way, let's not cry for Dentale. Guy just won $300,000 last week. Won a tournament up at Borgata, won $300K, so congratulations to him.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty
But I don't care how much money you won last week. Never fun to lose $15K.
No.
I'm humiliated.
And you can see it in his face.
You know what I
Yeah.
told you?
I'll buy it.
There is a different Mike Dentale at this table right now than there was 4 hours ago.
Absolutely.
Now,
The aggression is gone.
I've been
He's
talking.
Alex, I
making
think
bad check
your
calls.
nickname should be the quiet man.
I don't know if that's an accurate
Because
statement.
when you're in a hand, you're very quiet, and the whole table goes quiet in deference to the way you like to play poker. Do you notice I don't talk when you're in
Definitely
a hand?
stoned
by all
when
means,
he's in a
you can talk.
pub.
But I'm not going to. I would feel.
Right. That would disrupt the
I'd
quiet
feel
guy
like,
routine you got going.
yeah.
I don't know if that's.
It's like a spill falls over the table when you're in a hand. Everybody falls silent. Wow, I can't believe it. Mike's all friendly and jovial. I give him a friendly warning that I have the best hand, and then he re-raises me. Out of position, I might add. So rude.
Friendly and jovial.
can't
You have
check
to
raise you
look
for
that
ribs.
word
Well,
up,
I'm
Mike.
playing with scared money. Everybody knows it. So, you're taking advantage of it. You're exploiting me.
Don't use such big words. You're going to confuse Mike. He put his sleeves on. It's going to change.
Advantage?
Jovial and
Exploiting?
exploiting
Scared?
and jovial.
I'm looking for the big word. Oh,
Coming from a guy that never graduated high school, that's pretty
Yeah.
funny.
did I say jovial?
Heads up.
I didn't say jovial.
Jovial's a good word.
But yeah, I didn't say it, did I? Mike said I said it.
I didn't think you said it.
Paired board.
They gave me one of those things when you go back. What do you call it?
GEDs?
No. When you,
I don't even think you got
an
that.
honorary degree they gave me.
Tell the truth on TV, don't lie. What grade did you finish? Tell the truth, don't
I
lie.
graduated in 1980.
You graduated high school, don't lie. You didn't graduate, you're lying.
We can bet on that.
You did not
can look it
graduate.
up.
I don't believe you.
You can look it up.
You graduated?
Yes.
He's lying, he's fucking definitely lying.
I'm lying.
You're definitely lying.
Like, it's a big accomplishment. Actually, I said I graduated 83, I graduated 84.
We're doing this one blind. For whatever reason, we don't have the graphics up for this one, but we'll get that rectified for the next hand. But interesting always. 7, 8, 8, 3, 9 of clubs on the river. With action on the flop and the turn, you wouldn't suspect anybody has 5, 6
I'm
here.
intimidated because you have your hand on your shoulder, and I call that pro
Yeah,
stance.
do you have one of those?
If somebody goes into pro stance, that means that
these?
they
You
have
got
a
one
big
of those?
hand.
I don't, man.
Yeah,
don't.
You need that.
Wow. How new is this?
Tilly gives it up.
I told
And we'll never know.
Yeah, it just
the
came
worst
in.
hand.
Interesting, the tells you can pick up of what people do with their hand. I mean, their actual hand,
Thank
not
you.
their poker hand, while they're playing, where they
What
put
did you
their
have?
hand, how they position them on the table.
I don't know what you had.
It's a 20K max.
Jake Schindler back in the game.
Foldable hand.
Or at least it tells you think they're there.
Well, you got to get confirmation.
Nope.
Sometimes you never get the sample size you need.
That's correct.
It can be, sometimes it's as weird as
You know what? I
he had his right hand on his left shoulder and he was bluffing. And you go, okay, well, every time he does that, he's bluffing.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just scratching his shoulder.
Yeah. Well, you should never act on it after just one.
I mean, how many do you need to have confirmation?
And part of the problem is you don't always get to see the cards, so you get that
That's what I
confirmation.
mean.
Well, he couldn't have connected
But,
that turn. He probably still hasn't connected.
I think.
And also, I will tell you, particularly the pros, but even recreational players have gotten so much better
That'll
about
be one of those like Phil Ivey.
being fairly consistent in not giving off huge tells.
How does he know she has?
I mean, you watch this much more than I do. I only know the people I usually play with, but what do you see?
I think there are some players out there that give away a lot. I think in a vacuum, though, it's very, very hard to exploit that because, as I point out, you see somebody shaking.
Your shot.
Let's not jump to any category. The guy could have Parkinson's. Who knows?
Yep.
Fireball for the gentleman.
When this guy drinks, he always bluffing. Maybe he's thirsty this time.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are other.
One day I'll have.
I think live tells are fantastic when you use them in conjunction with what's going on in the hand.
Yeah, I don't think
So if there are live tells that you can, and then suddenly the hand doesn't make sense, the line doesn't make sense, and you start putting it together and you go, you know what? I think this guy's bluffing. Maybe you do that. But, as Dalib Guy points out, there's fake tells too, and there are good poker players out there. I always put it this way. If you're playing against a very experienced live player, and you think they're giving up a live tell, be aware. They haven't been a live teller they have not played live poker for a long time.
Yep.
They're very aware.
But if I did, I would.
Now, if you play against somebody who's not as experienced,
Correct.
With a little
I might put a little bit more credence into their live tells.
Yep.
I don't like this new Jennifer.
But if you can combine whatever information you have and confirm it, and also add in their bet tells, which are an important part of the game that not enough people pay attention to, you can gather a little bit of information. But none of it's ever going to be 100%.
Interesting flop here. Rocha with the flush draw. Marcus, who has really not played very many hands. He played that one hand, which we didn't see. He has top pair. His top pair is no more good, though. No more good? No good anymore, as Rocha has turned the flush. I will learn English on the next break. My apologies.
All right.
Okay, and put it in the slot machine.
I can tell you that I have made
We'll get my money.
some huge folds in my life
I like everybody.
and some huge hero calls in my life based on live tells. And sometimes I'm right, and sometimes I couldn't be more wrong.
Yeah.
Quiet man versus quiet man.
This is a check bet call. That river's going to make it a little tougher for Marcus now with two
I'm
pair.
going to talk about, but I'm just going to keep talking. Just to get
Oh, you mean you're going to be like Jen?
A better two pair, I should say. Kings and nines now.
She has things to say.
Yeah, I do. All very important to me. Everything.
Again, though, I'll point to the same thing.
Fascinating.
What kind of hands is Rocha betting the river with? When he bets the turn and then he follows up here, I don't know if he's quick call. I don't know if he's betting,
There you go. See,
Jack
often
9,
doesn't
Queen
hurt.
9.
Sometimes it helps.
Maybe he's still betting Ace 9. I think Ace 9 would actually be a decent bet.
Yep.
The rest of the pot.
What's that? Ah, man, you're going to keep giving me...
He's certainly betting flushies. He's certainly betting a deuce.
By the way, in that hand, Marcus did not have his hand on his shoulder. He had it on his elbow.
That was definitely not a component.
Which means...
Nothing.
Yeah.
It means that what Jennifer was talking about before doesn't necessarily correlate to what we're actually watching.
Yeah, what's going on here?
I can't...
Mui, by the way, says Tuck has probably picked up a ton of live tells on broadcasts over the years, but he doesn't state them out of respect to the players. Yeah, 100%. There have been times when I do the World Series broadcast, or I do Poker Night in America, or Live at the Bike, or whatever show I cover, where somebody will tweet in and go, hey, did you notice this live tell? Or even if I notice something, or my co-commentator, I try not to bring it up. Because we are this is a live stream, and I do not think, I don't want to affect the game.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, we are flies on the wall.
It's one thing for people who are watching and listening to text their friends who are in the game what happened a half hour ago with that. But to add our particular insight into something that we've seen that they may not have seen, that's a little bit different, right?
I agree 100%. Like if I see a tell, I try not to say anything. For numerous reasons, by the way. Number one, I could be totally wrong, and I don't want to give false information out there. And number two, it's not my place.
I need big hand versus big hand, but not kings versus aces.
Just my personal opinion there. King, Queen, 5, a lot of spades out there. Marcus with a pair of 5s along with the 6 of spades. Tilly with the best of it right now with a pair of queens.
You know, this goes to something I was mentioning earlier before about the difference between cash games and tournaments. In what tournament do these 3 hands see the flop?
Have some respect.
Maybe the first level or two.
For your elders.
Like,
generally not.
99% of the public doesn't even know why Hamilton is on a $10
That's why cash games are
bill,
infinitely better than
the building
tournaments.
on
I
a
agree.
$10 bill and how it relates to them. I would say 99% of the public.
Once again, Paul Harris alongside me. That is harrisonline.com if you want to check him out. He does a radio show out of St. Louis every Friday afternoon. You can watch that on the internet if you want.
99%. Almost anybody.
Really, a really interesting character.
No.
He's got a lot to say about the poker world, but as far as I'm concerned, even more interesting outside of poker.
Oh, thank you.
Why he's on the bill or why the building's on the back of it. Unlike Mike, I believe in history. I know a little bit about it.
Marcus clearly bluffing at this one now. He's not betting this for value.
Nope.
I don't think he. Yeah, no, he bet 750 on the river. Bets about half the pot.
Listen, we don't.
I don't think you have an ace.
We're not talking about Snow White in the 7th Wolf.
I don't think you have a straight.
Well, if you don't think he has a
I
flush,
think you have the button.
if you don't think he has an
You
ace,
should have a king.
he's not betting a king.
If you have a queen, you have a better queen than me.
But he's not betting a queen.
But kicker might not play.
See, that's where she misses the thing.
Yep. That she calls.
Oh, I won one. Thank you.
She's so adorable. But you know what I mean? Where she misses the thought process there is, yet, I don't think you have a flush. I'm just quoting her. You don't have a flush. I don't think you have an ace. I don't think you have a straight. Well, if you don't think he has one of those 3 hands, then you have the best hand. Because he's not betting a queen or a king.
Right.
Unless he somehow made 2 pair.
Phil, I have an inch.
The worst hand he would bet
I
there
have to go.
would be
Wait, I gotta come.
maybe,
So I have an inch.
maybe like ace jack, ace 10 with a jack of spades or 10 of spades.
Sure.
I've got no, it's stuck to me. Okay. Play without me.
I'll take one, yeah. And then,
Oh, yeah, turn my thing on.
yeah,
What happened to my itch? Phil didn't scratch it. I guess you have to have no
I
legs.
didn't get a kiss.
He only scratches guys with no legs, Mike.
He was in too much of a hurry. He didn't,
Yeah.
didn't seem like in a very jovial
If
mood.
I had no legs, he probably would have slowed down.
miss.
Yeah.
Easy.
Wait till her come back.
I happen to be good at that.
Cocktails, baby.
That's all I got going for me.
150 for that one.
Well, I know it's pretty cold.
Jake Schindler comes back and immediately gets involved in a hand.
Yeah, Schindler's a good player.
Yep.
Made a somewhat questionable call with the ace-8 of diamonds. It was just a 6 spot where, you know, he loves his flop, hates the turn, and then hates the shove even more. Kind of convinced himself to stick around, but obviously not a great call there. Marcus with trip 5s, and hopefully Schindler, at least for his sake, does not have ace-king. I know he's got a king. 2 kings he can get away from. Ace-king is going to be a lot tougher.
Yep. Checked around.
Checked around, third club out there, and this is going to this could kill Marcus' action a little bit. Well, the fact of the matter, he has nothing. Also, nobody has anything. You ever see the 30 for 30? You watch the 30 for 30s?
Yes, I do.
I love them.
Yep.
I recorded them all. I've got them all at home. I think they're some of the best TV out there.
Yep.
You see the one on the U?
We should wait for him.
No.
She got one with
You haven't on the Hurricanes on
No.
the U? Oh,
I have not.
it's good. I think it's actually two parts.
Okay.
It is highly recommend it.
Yeah, I've not seen all of the episodes.
What do you want your alcohol to taste like?
I do know that the guy who directed the movie I appeared in, Mississippi Grind, his name's Ryan Fleck. He did a 30 for 30 about the 1989 World Series with the earthquake out in Oakland and San Francisco.
Of course.
He lived in the Bay Area at the time, and so he was able to put some very interesting insight in there. That was a good episode of 30 for 30.
Yeah, that earthquake and the earthquake in '94 were the last two major earthquakes in California.
This game went down like to a tenth of what.
My mom points out to me all the time, "You guys are due. Move back home."
The gentleman was raising for 2-3 and flopping super.
Rat Poker 47 says, "Tuck, you should get them on VHS."
Connected.
Or, as my father likes to say, I should get them on BVDs. BVDs.
You can watch them on your underwear.
Okay, Dad, I'll get them on my BVDs.
Yeah. Is that even a brand of underwear anymore?
I don't, no idea, dude. No clue.
Did I just show my age?
Dude, I mean, the fact that my dad calls BVDs and VHS, I mean.
Yeah.
It's not a 25-year-old scotch.
No.
I mean, even DVDs are dated now.
Right.
I mean, I kind of laugh at my wife whenever she buys, like, even if she buys a Blu-ray, I go, "What are you doing? Just get it digital."
Yeah.
Why do we need the junk in our house?
Just download it. Yeah, let's watch the stream.
Well, no, I mean, I have it now. It's like, you know, I buy things
You had
on.
the flunk mind. You had
I buy
that
things
flunk
now without
mind.
bringing them. I can access them on any computer I want to.
Absolutely.
Juggling. Mine,
I
I
took a
was,
drama class where I learned how to juggle.
yeah. I could have been in the Cirque du Soleil.
Ray Smuckle, 69,
Guy Liberté, if I had paid
one of our
attention to
crew
my
members,
juggling classes.
always
Get out of here.
Is that how you
full of wisdom.
It could be.
If you showed up at my door unannounced, held out a bucket, and said it was filled with elephant gravy, I think I'd try it.
Guy Liberté.
You gonna take a shot as a
The only way I can explain it is he's from North Dakota. I
Okay.
assume that's part of it.
Okay.
I was gonna ask if he was gonna take this shot as the pre-flop raiser.
Is it possible that elephant gravy means something different than we think it means?
I'm not gonna.
It could be.
Because there aren't a lot of elephants in North Dakota.
It could be a pseudonym for something else. I don't know.
It's talking about opportunity. He wasn't talking about fireball.
I can neither confirm nor deny that. 10-5-3, two spades out there. Dentale with a wheel draw. Unfortunately for him, does not have a spade in his hand. Marcus also with a gut shot. And this is,
And it's Laake who leads up.
by the way, this is a very Similar hand to when I was covering the $1 Million Cash Game many moons ago. And it was Phil Ivey versus Tom Dwan. And I remember saying to Robert Williamson III, if a non-spade or whatever it was, 4 comes off, we're going to see fireworks.
This was
boom, the 4 comes off, and we had a $1.2 million pot.
Biggest. I saw the video of it. Biggest hand in poker, live poker history.
And people always ask, I said right when the 4...
I should say televised.
Right, when the 4 came off, I said, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And everybody said, okay, you meant that, right? Because you had to plan that. And I said, no.
Yeah.
That was impromptu.
Because we are...
If it wasn't for TV, and I wasn't trained to be for TV, I think I probably would have said something different. SIgel?
Nobody ever folds at Poker Night in America. We play stronger at Poker Night in America.
Pedo Aardvark asking who is up. Mike SIgel?
Oh, wait.
Gentleman on the right side of your screen. Kind of the light blue shirt, call it, maybe grayish. He is up a significant amount of money.
Although you should remember that he got felted on the first or the second hand of the day here.
Yeah, and he's turned it around. And Dentale, who felted him, is now down a lot.
Is down considerably.
It's been a roller coaster ride for sure as they share shots. The drinks are flowing, the chips are flying. A lot of fun here. Poker Night in America, guys. We're here for the next 2 days.
Just to explain how it works, every time a new dealer comes in, there's a flop prop for who has to tip the dealer for that down.
Mike,
and
speaking
they
of
started this
Hamilton, I'll
afternoon
bet you
also
100
ordering
that
shots, and that person has to buy shots.
Who killed him?
So some of these players who've been here for a while
Yeah,
have
I'll
done
bet
quite a few
100
shots by now,
anybody
Dave.
Before he answers that he doesn't know.
Ask me if I care.
That's
See
good.
what I say? See? All right. Okay. I would bet anybody 100.
Let's say, I want to ask a question. Do you think he ever got laid in high school?
He read a lot of books.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. No, I always.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Let's put a poll up on Twitch. Did Mike SIgel get laid in high school? I got to tell you, this dude, Mike SIgel,
Yeah.
I think he lost his virginity at like 11. Oh, the dude, look at him. He looks like a baller.
I'll take the over.
No.
It's not fair. I mean, I just put it out there. I'm not going to do that. I'm not taking the under on that. I'll put it this way. I think Mike SIgel has done fine for himself over the years.
Yeah.
I called. We got the best hand.
And for people who may have just tuned in here, you should talk a little bit about Mike SIgel, the stud player, because that's really where his specialty lies.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Matt Glantz is pointing out one of the best stud players in the world.
Probably top 10, right?
I mean, I can't say that, but Matt certainly can.
Yeah.
Tilly with a gut shot. Dentale with the top pair.
SIgel plays a lot of mixed games at the Borgata, 400, 800.
Yeah, this is not his game.
No.
He readily admits, no limit hold'em's not his game yet. The guy's up well over 20K today.
Yep.
Those orange chips you see in front, those are 1,000 each.
Yep.
He's only in the game for 16,000. So basically, he's got at least 16 orange chips. The rest of it is all profit.
Is that all? Because I thought he lost 10K at the beginning. He only rebought for 6?
He lost 8K, and then bought in for another 8.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And by the way, he's raised here again. You say, when he's got a pair, it's kind of a weird, it's like I got a pair. It's hard to flop a pair, so I'm going to go with it. Sort of a half that and half. Let me raise this, find out where I'm at.
Yeah.
You know how to spell that?
Very unconventional, tough to play against.
If you're playing in a hand against him, you better be able to handle aggression, because you're going to see it from him.
Because by the way, he'll also do this the set.
Right.
He's not going to slow play his sets either.
Plays exactly the same
I might
way.
just fold. He's
He
talking so much.
wants to
he
get
might
chips
have
in the
the
pot.
best
He wants
I'll
your
bet you
chips
100 that he can't
in the
tell me
pot.
answer to a quarter plus a third. What
Maybe not in this
Yeah,
situation.
A quarter plus a third. I bet you can't give me the answer.
That's
Bet
not
100?
fourth grade.
Let's bet 100.
Like 6th grade.
That's fraction.
It's fourth grade adding fraction.
And Tally can't find a fold here, can he?
Third grade maybe.
Dude, I want Mike SIgel to be my uncle.
want to
My
bet, huh?
nephew's in 4th grade.
You don't want to bet, huh?
Yeah.
The fact of the matter, the fact that SIgel will raise with a pair, you can't fold top pair, top kicker
No.
because of that.
And particularly when there's a flush draw there. I mean, that's a play a lot of players are going to make with a flush draw.
Problem is, though, what do you do? Well, he checked it back. I was going to say, what would you do if you bet now? Can SIgel turn his 4?
I'm trying to work it out.
Oh, there's a bet. There's the call.
That's how you do it.
And if you're sitting at the table and you're watching that going, what did you raise the flop with there at 6s? Such a weird bet.
He has been more successful than not with that today.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. The long-term return is definitely
I
there.
mean,
Well, I don't know if the long-term return. I see the short-term returns there.
Well, the long term today.
Okay.
I've only played with the guy since noon today.
I was going to say, your definition, how you define long-term is much different than me.
Well,
I'll bet you 100. Oh, this
can
is
pick
this
the
fourth
question.
grade.
Can I
He's
side
in
bet
fourth
that it's
grade.
not a fourth
What?
grade math
He's in
course?
fourth
Yeah,
grade.
I'll
and
bet
he's
you that you
texting
learn
me,
fractions in third or fourth
Well, no,
grade.
that's not what we're saying. I would like to
Adding
bet that.
fractions.
I might have supposed to.
Fractions is not fourth
I
grade
think
math.
fractions are common denominators, though.
Oh,
not
now you
fourth
got to
versus
tell me the
third.
answer? Now you just told him
What do
the
you
answer.
mean?
Well, how to figure it out. He wouldn't know that.
Well,
You understand?
you didn't even-
Now
you
you
said that.
you understand, though. You
He
understand?
wouldn't have known if I just said common denominator. He wouldn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah, everybody, you do understand,
Common
right?
denominator.
You do understand that, right? That you gave away.
Not necessarily. Not until you said I gave it away, but
Mike SIgel is the uncle that would, and I mean this as a compliment.
Sixth
I'm
grade,
going to preface what I say with
Okay.
this.
Algebra.
Mike SIgel is the uncle that
I don't have to trust you. I was in sixth grade.
is going to buy me my
Yeah,
first
you
beer,
learn algebra.
Yep.
Sixth
A lot
grade.
more recently than
I made it.
show me how to
Sixth
play
grade.
craps,
Yeah,
Yep.
well, that's so in fourth grade you're learning fractions. You're learning algebra in sixth grade.
teach me how to hustle my friends and book,
Stuff that comes out of your mouth is
Yep.
amazing.
He's going to let you play.
and probably
Couldn't answer any questions that I wanted to bet you. But
Well,
I didn't
you
hear
didn't
you
answer
bet
while
me.
I'm with him on my weekend with Uncle SIgel, Uncle Mikey,
Yeah?
How much
I'll
is a
probably lose
quarter
my virginity.
Plus a third of what? A third of a
That's
quarter?
Uncle Mike.
Not if you're 11.
I mean, you're
No,
wasting
no, he's not going to do that.
No. But
He is the uncle I wish I had.
He's also the guy who, if there were a
You're a
basement
joke.
poker
You're a
game
clown.
and you were 11, he'd make you pull up a chair and play with the guys who are
Yeah, I
all sitting
would've-
around smoking and
And I
drinking
would
and
bet a
cursing.
lot more than
probably
he
give me a
would've known
cigar.
Phil Hamilton
I had a
or
great
Dyer or
aunt,
any
passed
of the
away a few years, many years
I have
ago,
absolutely no idea.
who was,
Right.
you know, my equivalent
Am I supposed
to
to know?
Uncle
You
Mike,
would've
but I never had an
died
uncle like
You went to
that.
school, you would
I'd like to adopt Uncle Mike SIgel.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
I'll tell you another thing about a guy like that. If you're in the game with him and you go bust and you got no more money, he'll be happy to give it to you.
Jennifer, don't listen to Mike.
You play with that guy on a regular
Members only,
basis, he'll
they make
hand
shirts
over
with
10K to you on a handshake.
Now you can't read either?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all if he never signed a contract in his life.
Yeah, handshake deal
I
guy.
think we can put
Absolutely.
to rest your IQ.
Yeah, wait. Is that happening or not? I mean, that's pretty. That's
Come
never
on,
gonna
this
happen.
is not even in the same, you know.
Do you guys know each other from before, or did this all start early today? This feud. This-
We all played
banter.
together, us three, Jen, last time we were here, you know?
Oh, was I there?
You were here.
Oh my
Raise
God.
it up.
Okay,
450 to that.
I got phone.
Oh, no, Mike
Hold on,
wasn't
baby
here,
girl.
Mike wasn't here. I played with
Wait,
him.
I remember playing with you. What?
Yeah, yeah.
What?
Please.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
think Mike was here last time we
Yeah,
were here.
I remember playing with you. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
playing
yeah.
with
He
you.
was, no, I played with him at Turning
I
Stone.
met you before. but
Free
I never
raise.
played with you. All right, now I fold. Sorry.
15 to
I
bet.
folded out of turn. I might have influenced the action.
How gross is this? I gotta fold this in.
Wow. Super juicy.
Mike, ace 10. You fucking buried.
You played it good, bro. Don't worry. You played the sixes good.
I did. Check, check. I played it very good.
Played it good.
Played it very good. I think I lost the min.
3,000. Yeah, that's the min.
I lost the min.
Wow. Here's where I make five of a kind.
Heads up.
Now it seems like a good time to start holding him.
So sweet.
And go out warmer than that.
Is that a tell?
Yeah.
For who?
I don't know.
I think I'm gonna let you abuse me.
Did he text you back his homework?
I think I'm gonna let you
Greg,
abuse me.
did he text you back his homework?
Yeah, you're not going to be happy.
I think I'm
It's
gonna
not
let you abuse me.
fractions.
Well, that doesn't mean his homework this week. Ask him if he knows fractions. If he's learning fractions, I'll bet you he
It
has.
wasn't like total zero, but
I'll be willing to bet
It
that.
felt like
you're
it
probably
was,
the best hand, though.
Well,
We got to
more
just
like
come up with a
60.
question we're agreeing upon.
What's that?
Yeah. If he learned fractions in fourth grade.
I'll let you abuse me.
If he learned how to add fractions in fourth grade. Definitely.
Fair enough.
taught in 6th grade to do an algebra.
I'll bet you Mike won more poker than you did in the last week.
Ass 3 deuce.
Yeah, I know.
Once again, welcome to the Seminole Hard Rock here in Hollywood, Florida. We're here for Poker Night in America. Paul Harris, David Tuckman here. 25-50, no limit. That's the game. We are back tomorrow once again.
Obviously, these idiots would ever learn calculus.
Approximately 12:45, 12:30 Eastern Time. That's when the stream will start here at twitch.tv/PokerNightTV.
I like to at least.
And then again on Tuesday,
Because if I don't know when I'm being abused, then.
about 12:30 to 8:30 Eastern Time again. If you want to follow me, I'm at Tuck on Sports
Hey, yeah.
in both Twitch and Twitter. If you have any questions, if you kind of stumbled upon us on Twitch and you're more of a video game guy or a video game girl,
Greg, now the 100 bet.
and you're intrigued by poker, welcome. It's a great game.
What you use.
A game you can play for a lifetime, that's for sure. Very social. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. We all had to start somewhere. So if you have any questions, you can always ask me at Tuck on Sports.
That I do know.
More than happy to take the time out to answer your questions.
You get the king jack out.
And we're in a little bit of an action lull here. The game going on, but we haven't had anything terribly exciting happen in the last few hands. And this is the way live poker goes.
You have a flush shot?
I know. Mike, I still can't have it.
Too, and you said, let him get it.
I know you have a flush. I don't have flush, but you have a flush.
Oh, you said you had fours.
All right. Oh, that was exhausting. God. Making my money back $1 at a time.
That was 100.
100, yes.
It can be frustrating because there are times where you get into you get yourself in a rut in poker where it feels like before you even sit down, you're down, and you're just trying to get your money back. It's like, wait, how am I down again?
Yeah.
I just sat down.
Right.
And that's been the case with Jennifer Tilly for the last two visits in Pittsburgh and here again in Florida.
Poker professional,
Okay.
I suppose.
All right.
No, yeah, that's.
I suppose.
Yeah, sure, why not?
I know a couple of guys who play in live cash games who sit down and they go through their first buy-in in
I do.
90 or 100 minutes.
He's a good guy.
Then they make that second buy-in and they change their style completely. And the next thing you know, they're 3x.
I don't know about
I'll
my
make like you're a civilian.
Yeah, Donald Brunson actually said that in Super System, the original Super System. He wrote about how when he sat down, he would almost always lose
Took a
his
picture
first
of
buy-in.
Alex. Alex is probably going to clean up tonight.
Listen,
Before cleaning up.
Mac Lance was, right? He got staked for the whole World Series. He went 0 for 50, okay? And then he puts up 4K and wins 1.5. He got 30% of the guy that wins the main.
Was that-
I came in second.
Beckley.
Yeah.
Beckley.
He went 0 for 50, getting staked.
Uncle Matt.
And put up 4K and got 1.5 million.
Got a raise here from Schindler, called in a couple spots.
It's hard to stake the right one.
Basically, definitely a different field to the table now. You lose an amateur in Joe Dipascale, a local businessman. He owns a lot of Italian restaurants. No shame in calling somebody an amateur. Obviously, he's not a professional, but replacing him with a professional in Jake Schindler.
Yep.
Definitely a different dynamic at the table, and we've seen it's definitely changed.
There's your action card right there.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, if it was the Queen of Clubs, it would have been a real action card. As both Schindler and SIgel would have had a pair to go along with flush draw. An offsuit queen, though.
You don't have a job?
Tilly just loves her hand, and she's gonna. Wow, what is she doing?
4,000.
Just.
The last time I worked with
Well, it was a bet and a raise, I guess. Oh, actually, it was a bet and a raise. So
Still gonna like me. Now gonna like me even more. No, you're gonna go down.
1,500. She made it 4,000. I thought it was
Yeah.
500. She made it 4,000. Significant difference.
And Jake knows exactly what's happening here, right?
Well, I don't know if he knows exactly, but he knows he's gonna fold.
Yeah.
Good fold, good fold.
It's all you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You earned it.
Thank you. I didn't want you to hit some sort of quads on the river, and so first off, just take what's in the pot right here.
I thought on the flop I had the best hand. I thought the 3.
It's an honest decision.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're king jack, right? Yeah.
Pocky Poker saying, yes, Tuck, Doyle intentionally dumped his first buy-in to create a loose image to get action when he got the nuts later. That's actually not true, and I've talked to Doyle about this.
Definitely not.
He did never intentionally dump his first buy-in. But his style
No, he doesn't like
would be such that he would say he often did lose his first buy-in.
Right. Well, what he was doing was playing wide open at the beginning in the hopes that he would hit things and put together a huge stack, which he could then use to push the table around. And if it didn't work out, then he would switch strategies. And this is so important because not enough poker players have a clutch that they can use to change gears as they go through a session.
Although back then he even said it. Back then he was like, I just played so aggressive, and nobody, so rarely did anybody stand up to him back then.
Yep.
This is when he first started playing.
Oh, sure.
He just he would crush and.
But
I hand it to anybody though. I have so much respect for anybody who can play poker for such a long time and be on top of the game for so long. We talked to Jennifer Harmon in Pittsburgh, and she talked about how Doyle still sharp as attack and still beats the game. Schindler, open-ended here.
Interesting, because a lot of people think, seeing Doyle play on TV, they think, oh man, this guy's the ultimate nit.
I don't think I've ever played it tournament.
No.
He's had to say it, but he has changed gears, had to evolve.
Absolutely. And by the way, you sit down and you play in a huge stakes limit game with him in Las Vegas, he's no nit.
No, he's still a regular in the 1K, 2K game in Vegas.
Not that I've ever done that, by the way.
Yeah, like I said, we had Harmon on in Pittsburgh. She was great in the broadcast.
Yep.
And she talked about that.
That's not how you're supposed
To this day, guy still plays 1K, 2K limit.
Unless he hits. If he don't hit, he don't bet.
So you don't bluff.
When I was doing the final table poker show several years ago with Dennis Phillips, we had Jennifer on, and she was kind of nervous doing the show with us. I don't know why. She was promoting her tournament at the Peppermill in Reno for her animal charity. And so to kind of calm her down a little bit, I said, there's one thing I've always wanted to know about that big game that you guys play at Bellagio. What do most of the players eat? And she laughed and settled down, and we had a great conversation after that.
It's one of the things that makes you but like I said, if you haven't listened to Paul Harris, you can check him out at harrisonline.com. You can follow him. He's got a radio show every Friday afternoon.
And incidentally, all of the episodes of the Final Table Poker Radio Show that Dennis and I did for 3.5 years are available on my website, harrisonline.com. You can go back and even find the one with David Tuckman as a guest.
Yeah, you can avoid that one. But no, that's one of the things you do great at. You're a very good broadcaster and interviewer because you do make your guests feel very much at ease, which is obviously sometimes more difficult than other times.
No, you know my, I don't care. I did the jack off. Told you to get the fuck out. Club? I know club.
I kind of take the same attitude with guests that I do when I'm playing in a cash game, which is why would I want to make you look bad? You're never going to want to be back on my show or play another pot
Alex, did you
with
say
me.
what you had that hand?
Which hand?
When he rivered the...
I know there are a lot of people who play in poker and razz their opponents and get on them. I never understand that, particularly if the opponents are young or new to the game. If they're amateurs who are just getting involved in the game. I've seen so many players who have been pushed out of the game by know-it-alls at the table, getting on them for how they play, berating them for how they play.
I would have bet less.
About 5 years ago, when I was playing at one of the rooms in Las Vegas, I was sitting next to a young pro, and he got felted by this drunk English guy who was in this cash game. And the young pro started berating him about how he had played badly. And I started hitting him on the leg under the table. And eventually he turned to me and said, "What?" And I said to him quietly, "You have to learn not to do this." "What are you talking about?" I said, "Because now all of those chips and all that cash that are in front of that drunk English guy are in play. But if you make him walk away from this table, you lose, and more importantly, I lose."
Yeah, but nobody knows what the logo means. On the back, it explains it up.
How much business?
Too many guys don't understand that.
Wait, it's got a phone. No, it doesn't.
I think it's 10% of that.
Airlightwindowcare.com.
So we have a straddle, a restraddle, and then another straddle.
Sharpness, I don't think
Residential,
it's
commercial, landmark.
Oh, here we go.
Which would mean 100, 200,
Manhattan,
400?
Brooklyn.
I really should crank it
No
up.
building too small.
Looks like it.
Too big.
And Dentale with the Buffalo.
Yes, suited buffalo.
Yep.
Check.
Jen would have called, but
Called what?
you'd have called whatever.
It's in bad shape because Siegel's got a bison.
My 3-bet.
Yeah.
Is that a bigger buffalo?
I should push, but
Yeah, well,
I don't know why. I checked.
I know that they are both hands that missed the flop.
Yeah, although
Siegel's
Siegel's
got the flush draw.
Yeah, Siegel hasn't really missed. I mean, he missed it in the sense that he doesn't have a pair, but he's got a gut shot to Broadway as well as the King of Spades.
And bets right into it.
Yeah, even if he always on the buttons, they all check to him.
Yep.
Even if he's behind right now to a pair of jacks, to a pair of nines, something like that, He is in pretty good shape. Tilly with 2 pair, though, certainly not going to go anywhere. So
She's check
Siegel looking for a 10. Yeah. Siegel looking for a 10 or spade. King is just going to make him feel like he's got a few more outs, and he does. He can now catch another king. Pot is 5,500.
She checks.
I need a spade.
I'm so confused.
Check, check.
No
Weird
spade.
play to check raise that flop and then check the turn.
Very weird.
No check.
Well, we
Oh,
won't
you're
check.
waiting.
She's
He's waiting.
No
Look,
spade. Rip
that's
Un-
the
unorthodox.
thing, like you can't wait to act again.
well, she's going to like the river.
Yep.
And Siegel might have bluffed at it. Has he not caught the king?
Oh, you did have a big
The man is not lying.
I thought he was already there. I got scared. Could have put some money in on the turn.
Could you be the
If
king?
I was putting any money and you weren't
What?
going to call
Could you be
because I
the
was going
king?
to put it
I'm
all
not
in and
sure.
you weren't going to call.
I keep forgetting my hand. What did you say?
If he was
I
already
would've
there,
went
he
all in,
would
you
have
would've
come right back at her on the flop.
No, I wouldn't have.
My experience with Mike Siegel
You
today.
don't know me.
Yeah, he tends to be...
Don't know
He tends to
me.
bet his hands.
Yeah, and he wants to build pots.
Well, and I think he also doesn't want to get sucked out on. I think that's a big motivation for it as well.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Who wants to take action that he had the best hand on this hand in the show? We can watch a live stream.
Yeah.
I'll bet.
Jake?
Got him.
I was scared.
I'll bet you had innings.
I was frightened.
I think he
I
had
thought
the
it was
best
only
hand.
Alex's
I'll
job.
bet you had
Yeah, they
innings.
got me twice, huh?
I thought we picked Alex to
They
be
got
all
me
night.
twice.
Once again, welcome to the Poker Night in America cash game live stream.
Free.
We've got
Long to be free.
about another hour left in tonight's broadcast.
Without even looking
We're
at my
back
cards,
at it
how about that? With
tomorrow
the kind of action you want here.
for another 8 hours, and then Tuesday again for 8 hours.
All right, I make it 450.
450.
Did you really not look?
What?
Did you really not look?
Yeah, no, I haven't looked. Okay, that's 450. 450. Yes.
It's on Siegel.
All right. I hope you don't
I
have
wanna
aces
play
or
against the
anything.
person that doesn't
No,
look
it's
at that card.
stupid. What?
Revis.
I'm making action for Mike.
I would like to play against people that
No,
don't
I'm
like
not
that.
even the nice Mike. The annoying Mike. You're a neutral Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. What'd you call you? Which mic are you?
He's neutral. He's neutral.
Wow, look at this action
I give
now.
him higher marks.
It's
but-
rare.
Lock raises, Laake raises, Tilly 3 bets, Siegel 4 bets.
Like the spectrum, one of the two.
Did Schindler call? Schindler
Yeah, Schindler called on
calls.
the button with the suited jack
I
10.
have 3 choices.
You're the
I
good
can
Mike.
Laake
fold.
folds.
Good for neutral, and
I
he's
can
the annoying
raise.
Mike.
God, how good are you running right now?
Oh, life is so good.
I can. Well,
You're
Jake's
usually- you're usually the
fold, and
neutral
he's called flat.
Mickey Deuces says, take the restraints of limit away from Siegel, and he loses his mind.
Mike Company.
Howard.
I just call.
She does show power.
Tilly's like, well, I got to call now. I'm getting pot odds.
Mike, check 1, 2, 1, 2.
3 players.
Can we get an action flop? What are the odds? Slim. Siegel should win this hand. I mean, if he bets, he's going to win it.
He might be a little bit concerned with Jake on his left.
Well, I mean, when Jake flats, Jake's range should be like. I mean, you would. I would if I was in a Mike's spot. I'm thinking Jake's got like 10s, jacks,
Yep.
something along those
He
lines.
loves
Yep.
your roll on that one.
Well,
That's a really good turn card for him. Even if he didn't have the ace, it's a great turn card
Yeah.
for him. He can rep that.
checked around again.
She has sex with Michael Madsen or her husband.
Sure enough. Well, I mean, once Siegel 4 bets and gets called in 2 spots, he's like, I don't want to build this pot anymore. Now he's pretty sure he's got the best hand. He bet 600 in the 38-25.
I played this so bad.
That's the weakest hand ever.
I had the best hand on the flop, pre-flop. I had the best hand on the flop. The turn, not so sure. Now he thinks he's going to get me to pay him 600.
With 4 overcards.
How do you not love Jennifer Tilly?
Well, he's right.
Look at that. Now he thinks he's going to get me, and sure enough, he
Yeah,
does.
with 4 overcards on the board.
Well,
Although the 4 overcards are irrelevant. People always say that. He doesn't have a 9, a 6. He doesn't have
I
jacks.
think in the video.
He's got an ace or nothing. Problem is he never has nothing.
I agree. But I agree with you. But if he never has nothing, he could have any of that,
Would you guys have called?
and it's a bad call.
Right.
I mean, there's never a place where that's a good
Put
call.
$100.
No.
Big
I mean,
hand at
the weird
poker
thing
night in
is,
America.
he could be like,
Just
What, you had
re-raise.
to go?
Yeah.
Like you have like ace king or something?
Jack 10 suited.
wouldn't really make sense in this particular hand, the way it played out.
You
But
called it all in?
he could theoretically be turning a hand that's better than 5s into a bluff.
Yes.
I just, you know what, I was the hero. I did a hero call so everyone at the table could see the shenanigans. This man, bad Mike, is up to.
I agree.
thank you.
Bad Mike.
Yeah.
For the team.
Right. I took it for the team.
Thank you. Team.
Annoying Mike.
And by the way, we do have 3 Mikes at the table.
And I'm good, Mike.
Mike
Yes, you're
Laake,
good, Mike.
Mike
Good
Dentale, and Mike SIgel.
Yes.
For now, that's not.
One more.
Look, I'll
That's
take
not a
it.
forever
I'll
thing.
take it.
Yeah.
Now is
Subject to change.
we
buddy.
live it now.
That is true.
The here and the now.
How many more questions can we bet on how dumb Mike is? That's what I want to know. That's,
This is
Well,
this is
we
the
could
most
s-
quiet I've ever been around Mike Dentale.
We could start with
And
the
it's a
first
week
one.
after he won a main event. I would never would have thought that.
3 to 1, this question. He doesn't
One
know the
more?
circumference of the earth, how many miles the earth is.
I could not have played that hand worse.
Yeah,
Is he,
3 to
is he
1.
for real?
3 to 1.
Is this guy for real?
I don't know if anybody at the table besides you knows.
No, Mike, I guarantee you Mike knows it.
What is the question?
You're a
The
sick,
mile
you're a
circumference
sick
of the earth.
man.
I'll bet you Mike knows it.
Are those,
And I'll bet
are
you
those
don't.
Ferrari glasses?
They're Carreras, yeah, the old school.
You are insane.
Right.
There he is.
You said I didn't even put my chips out.
I don't play like these monkeys.
Before you
Sit
said
and tank
raise.
and look and stare at your Adam's apple.
The game's going to be
Well,
on.
with you, I wouldn't stare at your Adam's apple, but
Yeah,
God,
that's
it's
so
something
annoying.
else.
He does not
Are
have
you
got
playing
that
like a transgender person?
Tilly bets
That's
1,100.
usually
Siegel raised to 3,000.
Apple have.
Yeah.
Marcus is. I mean, it's tough to play.
Good Mike.
Yep.
Like,
I'm not gonna
And this is another example of Siegel hitting the flop and getting aggressive. I mean, he does have top pair here, but
but it's such. I mean, it's.
he does the same thing with a 7.
No, and he wouldn't know. But he want to take.
He has done it. You're right. I mean, he's done it with 6s. I mean, it's weird.
The circumference of the earth.
But I bet
You saw him earlier do it with ace deuce.
I don't even know.
Tough to play against.
I'm just a
Yes.
good-
And you got 10K in front of you.
I asked him some questions about women.
That's the great thing
Let's say
about
you flop. Let's say you flop. You have Queen Jack there or Queen 10. You got to decide right then and there. Do I want to play for my stack?
Right.
now and then. Do I want to play for my stack here?
And that's the great thing about deep stack poker, because people can pull those kind of moves.
Siegel made 2 pair here, and he's gonna get the showdown and win it.
I need a heart.
I like King of Spades would be a
King of 4 flush. I should.
By the way, Siegel is crushing.
That's the third
Yeah.
hand I misplayed tonight.
He is.
I don't even. What is he up now, Brian? Can we get an update on Siegel?
What's the matter now? Oh, he said he didn't
said he
know.
didn't know.
Really? Mike, you don't know? Roughly 25,000 miles. Does
What
that
do you
sound
think? Am I still
really?
allowed to take that bet?
Matt said that you were smart. Now Matt's got a bad read.
Matt would have lost that bet
Yeah.
as well.
Oh yeah, he would. Yeah, really.
I mean, I'm a reasonably smart guy,
Yeah.
but like,
Well, that doesn't mean that
That's being
knowledge is
knowledgeable.
right. Knowledge doesn't
Yeah.
mean knowledge doesn't mean intelligence.
I would guess that Siegel has close to 25K
Knowledge
on the
doesn't
table
mean
right
I'm the
now.
proof of that.
I'm like a
I have a
quick
ton of
thinker.
knowledge. I'm not that.
No,
intelligent.
much
25?
more
Way
than
more
that.
than that.
I mean,
Much
I'm
more than
smarter
that.
than
Yeah.
him,
What do you have
but-
knowledge on how to change an oil?
I didn't see all the stacks of black there.
Yeah.
I look like I change a lot of oil. Man.
Every stack of black is 2,000.
I mean, he's
so
probably got close to
we're-
40.
Yeah, we're talking 40,000.
Somewhere
Manual labor
Guys
is
like
never-
me.
He's up
yeah,
25.
Guys that
Yeah.
have to use their hands. to
Guys
make a
like
living.
me?
Yes, guys that have
Are you
to use their
insane?
hands to make a
Are
living.
you insane?
Mike, did that go
Take it
strong?
first.
No, I'm not. I'm only kidding with you.
yes.
Manual labor is not my thing.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
King on a 4 hard point.
Heads up.
Get hard with it. You would have won.
I did not.
King 5-3. Both
No,
players
it's
the
a
top
good
pair.
question, Mike. Why?
Dentale's going to lose some money on this pot.
Yep.
Unless, of course, he gets lucky.
Turn pink.
Schindler making the classic C-bet move here,
Like,
but he
if you
has
think
it.
about it, you might be able to think
Yeah, and he's going to bet this flop all the time. I mean, this is
Absolutely.
almost always going to go check, bet, call,
Yep.
as it should.
So they can blend in with the water.
It's from that diet.
From their diet? What do they eat?
They
Shellfish.
eat shrimp.
Shrimp.
The iodine in the
I'm a
shrimp
Florida
turns
guy,
them
that I
pink.
do know.
Oh yeah,
No flamingos in
that's
the
like that's a good.
And this is when the decision has to happen.
Flamingos up
Thank
there.
God.
I don't know anything about that. That'd be sick.
Pot's 1,300.
900 here.
That'd be.
Looks like around there.
That would be pretty.
It would
good.
definitely
like
That'd be a lot of flamingos.
That would be very serious.
800 to 1375.
Where do you live in New York?
Can't fold.
Born and raised in Queens. I just kind of travel now.
Well, now it's a little bit. Now,
No, Dentale can't fold.
Spend a lot of
I'm not saying you and
Oh,
I can't
I see
fold.
what you mean.
I'm saying Mike
he
Dentale
can't
cannot
physically,
fold
he
here.
physically can't call.
It is
I know
no.
the approximate population of Alaska.
He does call. Pot's now 2175. Actually, it's larger than that because we don't have the call in
I
there.
have no
Pot is actually
idea. I'm
3,000.
gonna take a guess.
River's an ace.
Give me a second.
Yeah, check,
Check, check.
Good, Jake.
No ace.
No ways.
King Jack's good.
200.
Jack does play.
This fucking
If you're new to poker, if you're new to Hold'em, it's your best 5 cards.
And by the way, perfect example there. Dentale said to Jake, "Your ace is good," which means he did not think he had a king, and he thought his king 8 was good the whole way.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, that's how Mike Dentale's been playing most of the day.
In all fairness, I don't know if I'm folding the turn either.
Yeah, people probably say
It's hard to make a pair.
I agree.
It's hard to make top pair.
I agree.
It's not a bad guess.
No, I would have taken
200,000 is not a bad
million's not
guess,
even a
right?
lot.
I'm not in that hand with king 8 offsuit, and I don't think you are either.
As Mickey Deuces points out, this is why you fold your king 8 pre.
Like
Yes.
a poker tournament, mostly men in Alaska.
Yes.
I mean, No Limit tends to be less of a pre-flop game and more of a post-flop game, so I don't mind playing some speculative hands. This game, though, as aggressive as it's playing, you can be in really tough spots.
Yeah. I mean, that's a classic example of what are you hoping to flop? Well, I hope I flop a king. Really? You think your 8 kicker is going to be good when the guy keeps betting?
You can make the argument that you're either going to win a small pot or lose a bigger one.
Yep. Husband, but he's taking it. I'll give you some action here. Let's put this card. I think Jake's going to win this.
All right, let's get him.
I have to win back some money. I can't afford to play poker.
Raise from Schindler, called in a few spots. Ace high flop, ace 9-3.
It's an expensive hobby.
Dentale, well, king 8 didn't work for him, but he's hoping ace 8 does. And this is one of those situations where he's either going to, well, actually get some more action. I don't know what Schindler has. We don't know if Schindler has ace king here, king 9, or just like king queen or something like that. But now Dentale's got aces up, aces and 8s, which is the dead man's hands.
If anybody offers to put me into anything, I should snap them up. I should immediately say, is that a legitimate offer? And put them on the spot. And I actually did once. I think Haralabob said, hey, I'll take a piece here. And I said, is that a legitimate offer? He goes, no, I'm joking.
Dentale doesn't like to see the 9.
Nope. He's wishing he'd bet the turn.
He knows when
Well, I mean, now he can't beat. I mean, he can't beat king 9. Can't even really beat any ace.
Right.
Because remember, his 2-pair counterfeited now. Now he's got aces and 9s with an 8 kicker. A better ace would beat him.
Really? I was thinking
It's a pretty horrendous river. And in fact, Schindler telling the story that he's either got ace king or king 9.
That shirt's probably too big. You should wear a smaller shirt. And then
What do you think? Do you think he has it or not?
hot, Jen.
I'm going to put him on ace king here.
I think he's got it.
That's a close.
I don't think he's trying to bluff these 2 players.
With or without slip?
Sure,
There
there it is, ace king.
Fucking retarded,
That's
man.
a
It's
great-
just fucking retarded how you have an ace. I get counterfeit my ace 22.
Wow. And it
Nice
was
hand.
check.
This is just
King 8 didn't work, ace 8 didn't work either.
Yeah.
it's getting fucking
Do you think he stops and reassesses?
retarded now.
No.
I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it. He doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that when he's losing, he plays better.
Well, but you know what? In that tournament where he won 300K at Borgata, he played like that, and the hands worked. And
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
And
You know
when
what?
that happens, you keep playing like that.
Yeah, you know what? Won 300K last. He won 300K a week ago.
Yep.
He's doing something right. Yeah, that just struck me as I did not believe that in that particular spot with that sizing, Schindler was bluffing those 2 players.
I agree.
And sure enough, he
How
wasn't.
many times I've made 2 pair and I've got. Do you understand? Hey, do you understand? You've counterfeited me about not you. I've got counterfeited about 6 times tonight.
Where's the deal at time?
You can only lose one back.
Is that insane? I've gotten counterfeited 6 times tonight. What'd you say?
Blame the deal at time.
In the chat box, Mickey Deuces says Schindler, Tilly, and SIgel are the only players who can really afford to play this game on a daily basis, which may or may not be true. But you got to remember that games like this, for a lot of players, are once-in-a-lifetime situations. I mean, I couldn't afford to play in this game on a regular basis either, but having the chance to sit down and play it and have a little bit of fun, doing that every once in a while, even maybe once a year or twice a year, if you can have the bankroll that can handle that particular session,
Not 3 times, not 4 times.
I don't think you're violating any laws of poker by sitting down in a game like this if you can handle that part of it. What do you think?
I think, yeah, teach their own. I'm not judging. Schindler with 2 pair here, 10s and deuces. Speaking of Doyle Brunson,
He's folding if I
Bad
play.
Beat Slayer. He and I have been through much over the last few years, but I like his mention here. LOL, gotta love Mikey. Won 300K last week and he's ranting. Only in poker.
Yep.
He's folding the hand. Trust
Reminds me of Joe Hashem the year after he won the main event. 2005 was, of course, the year he won the main event. The year after, they have him on camera going, "Come on, do I ever get lucky?"
Yeah.
For sure, we'll just play dope.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I mean,
Amazing.
You know. I was letting everyone know.
It's like the player who two outs somebody and then an hour later gets two outed and can't believe how bad he runs.
Yeah, how bad he runs. Yeah. Poker players have a real short memory.
Yes, they do.
What? I'm not going to get 5 bets, but I'm never checking.
Not on board, Dad.
I mean, the funny thing about that last hand, just on a very small basis, the flop is what? Ace 9-3, right?
Yep.
You're up with Ace 8. Your opponent's got Ace King.
Right, it's one more bet. Right, it's a stupid.
You had the 3-out hit.
And then he goes,
Correct.
"Did you have it?"
Right, the movie was
you
good.
He just completely ignores the fact that he 3-outed his
That's
opponent.
right. That's right.
Good movie, stupid.
Well, the same thing happens when, aces get it in against king and a king flops and an ace hits the river. You're so lucky. Well,
Yeah, I never care about that. That is a different example in the sense that I always feel like the guy who has aces always talks about how unlucky he is. You know what? The guy who had kings was unlucky that he had kings when you had aces too.
Right.
Yep. My maiden name was Chan, and my parents grew up in Canton, just like Johnny Chan is from Canton. I told him that, and he laughed and laughed. He was like, I don't know you.
Security.
And my dad loved poker, too. He was probably like one of the, black sheep Chans, perhaps.
That's how I know Johnny Chan from my dad. I was good friends with my dad.
Really?
My dad's got a couple bracelets from the 90s, studs that he.
Really? What's your dad's name?
Marty SIgel.
Marty SIgel.
Yeah.
I think I've heard that name.
Pretty well.
Very cool. Is that how you learned how to play poker?
Yeah, it's old stud. Been around it since a little kid.
Small bit, that's over here. 50. No, stop. No, just 50.
Again.
I forgot. Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
What was it, 50? You're
Well,
calling?
actually,
I think you said calling.
Yeah, please.
Poker Night in America needs to figure out some way to funnel me some money. Like, they should go like, that was the bad beat jackpot. Jennifer, you were bad beating.
High hand, yeah.
$10,000.
We didn't know we were playing high hand today. You
Yeah.
get 12,000.
Yeah. And make it
What's
look all
your high
legit.
hand so far?
My high hand?
Yeah.
You mean the best hand that I had today?
Well, yeah, that was
Oh,
your
like
high hand.
ace high.
Dentale 7 still best.
Congratulations, we have an ace high winner
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
yeah.
6:30 hour.
Kickers don't play today.
Yeah, right. Yeah, ace high with a bad kicker. This is growing on me. It would be good over ice cream.
Yes.
I don't think
Did
there'd be
everybody
much
drink
ice
theirs?
cream left.
I did, yeah.
Wow.
Do we need more?
Got about a half hour left in tonight's show.
Look,
Heads up.
I should
still on number
consolidate
one?
them. No, I've been working on both of them. but
Both
they're-
Jennifer Tilly and Mike Dentale will be here
Whoa.
for the duration.
I mean, by the end of the evening, I'll have drunk both. And then, woohoo, look out.
Everybody got 8
Don't be real
corns.
wild.
Whoa. Chips are flying.
Pocky Poker, we'll get right on that, buddy. Interesting turn card here. And Schindler's going to use it. You can see he's got the gut shot. He's now picked up a flush draw. Only 28% equity, as you can see next to his name. Dentale's still a favorite to win it. At this point, we know he doesn't like the fold. 7 of diamonds would be a real ugly card.
Yeah.
Kind of rooting for it, aren't you? Come on, 7 of diamonds. Come on, 7 of diamonds.
Oh.
Ah.
Interested to see what Schindler does here.
I think he's going to give up. But Schindler's a good player.
Yep.
I like this guy a lot.
The sickest river ever. That card I don't like.
So the bet is 1,400 or 1,300 to 22. So it's 13 into 22. Schindler tried the over bet earlier on when he was bluffing. Didn't work, but Matt Glantz had top full house, so obviously that wasn't never going to work.
Yep.
Here he puts more of a conventional value bet in there. Dentale can only beat a bluff. I mean, Schindler's not... I don't believe that he's betting worse than 7s for value.
I agree.
Kind of weird, though. I mean, it's almost like he's trying to get Dentale to fold a 6. He scratches his head when he's bluffing. Did you see that?
I saw him scratch his head.
He scratches his head when he's bluffing.
Seattle
Okay.
was up
I saw that.
minutes.
Write it down.
Pittsburgh just scored to make it 30 to 32.
I'm joking, guys.
I guess it's pending the extra point, maybe.
32-30.
People wanted to show the bluff. Don't show the bluff yet, because Dentale hasn't folded yet. That would be a really bad idea. I'm just putting that out there, okay? If you are bluffing, you don't want to show it until the guy folds.
Oh, you know what? No. You know what happened? Pittsburgh kicked the field goal. For Seattle's winning. Pittsburgh kicked the field goal.
Yeah, he's gonna get paid off.
And then go 4th and 10.
And,
kick the field goal. They're losing
5's no good?
32-30. He said.
Dentale did a double take. Look back again.
Well, it kind of looks like a straighty board. You're like looking at it going, did he have it?
Or 2 pair.
Oh, no, you just got a pair of 5s. Okay.
No.
I'm good.
Seattle's
Right.
winning by
Sometimes it takes a second to like.
I thought they scored a touchdown, so it said a field goal. I think that's a bad decision.
And it's not impossible that Schindler has 5 deuce of diamonds there or something, you know.
Yeah, I agree with Walter White, though, in the sense. I mean, I just think that's a.
Doesn't sound like a good
Coaches aren't very good at
No, I'm saying that's why Dentale looked
Yeah.
back to double check.
If you're going to hold them and get the ball back.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't. Dentale wasn't. That was not a slow roll. He just. I think he sincerely was like, do you have me beat? No, you don't. Okay, I got to just double check this.
I would say after just watching, even if you hadn't watched earlier today, if you've just watched the last 40 minutes of this game, you might think to yourself, I shouldn't try to bluff Mike Dentale.
Opposite. That
never.
Well, I'm certainly. I'm surprised Schindler. I'm surprised Schindler bluffed him, but I'm really surprised that Schindler decided that sizing was the way to go. The pot was like 2,200. He bet 13. I would have thought that if he was going to bluff, it would have been closer to a pot size and really put a lot of pressure on your opponent.
Yeah.
You know, really put a lot of pressure on a 6.
When you finish moving that camera, do you think you could take a picture?
Ace high still the best hand here.
Can you take a picture of us at the table? Can you get the whole table in? Thank you. Just press the round thing at the bottom. Take 2 pictures. Everybody look happy to be here. Stop squabbling for 1 minute.
So Schindler
Look like
tried
a
the button
family.
steal here, and Marcus defended with an ace in the small blind.
Check.
Mm-hmm. I guess I should wait till the hand's over. There's 2 people in the hand. Okay.
They have to look
Yeah.
mid-tape.
There's no pot.
Sorry.
There's no
We'll wait till it's over.
Two hands in a row.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Schindler gets called
Good
down,
call.
this time with ace high.
Yeah, well, what is, if I'm the opponent there, what do you think he's representing on that board?
I'm going to Twitter it. Wait, hold on. Sorry. It's very important, social media. It's a very
Yeah, it's
important
big.
part of my game plan. If I'm going to lose $10,000 a night, I got to get a little mileage out of it. Can you take one more and with everybody kind of looking at the camera like in a friendly way, sort of? Okay.
Friendly, Jake, in a
All right,
friendly way.
here we
Yeah,
go.
that's tough. That's demanding. How are we gonna do that?
Looking at the camera in a friendly way, please. Here we come.
Yay, thank you so much. Thanks.
That was nice, guys. I enjoyed that.
That was special.
That was a nice moment that we had.
We put aside our differences for 1 minute.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
Back to
let's go
killing
back to
each other,
loving each
yeah,
other.
We'll
back
have
to-
that moment forever.
Right.
Back to verbal abuse.
Oh, yeah, you could have done it. What?
Saddle.
Thank you.
Verbal abuse is one of my strong points.
I must have straddled. I was so excited, I knocked the chip into
One
the
of my
middle.
better attributes.
Okay,
I actually feel like you placed that in the middle.
I think I might have, just sort of like automatically. I have that straddle arm, I can't keep it, it's like, alien hand.
Marcus the queens.
I can't keep myself from
I'm
putting out
not
the
familiar
straddle.
with alien.
And the button.
You not?
No.
He's going to raise, looks like 375, 350, sorry.
Like, go reach
Pardon
out
me.
and, like,
Muscle memory?
grab somebody. No.
Like when Alex
You're-
held hands?
Yeah.
Actually on Rocha,
Like
out of
that.
position with ace 8 of clubs.
It's called alien hand syndrome. You're telling your hand to do one thing and it does something else.
Might put a 3-bet in here.
It's a real
Oh,
syndrome.
I think I've had
that what
that
all the
when,
guys
when
say
you
when they
sleep
sit by
on your
you?
left
That's the
hand for a
problem.
long time and then you masturbate.
He's going to just call.
Okay. Cool.
That's going to bring Tilly in as well,
Probably qualifies.
as if Tilly needed an excuse to play a hand.
Right.
Kitty.
So you had 2 cards, and they're both rectangular, so of course the money's going in.
Hey,
Queen still in the lead. Michael Laake has been very quiet as of late.
I was just going to predict that Tilly would try to steal this.
The problem is she's just not repping anything. Like, it's just really easy to call that with. I mean, even I wouldn't fold ace jack to her.
I know that's one of my tells.
Like, I just don't. What is she? I mean, the pre-flop raiser doesn't have many threes in her range, but is she really leading out with a 3? And now, as you can see, she's drawing dead.
Oh, she's got a backdoor nothing draw.
Right.
Now she try to represent a king here again.
I mean, would she bet? I mean, if she had called pre-flop with like king 10, would she lead out on that flop, or would she check call?
And if she did lead out, would she then check the turn?
She might check the turn with the king 10. That I could believe. I just think it's a more believable line if she check calls and then bets.
Holy cow. What? How come I never get a hand like that? This is what I get. I do the best I can. Oh my God. Then I wonder why I go broke. I've got to take some poker lessons. Jake?
Once again, Paul Harris alongside me.
How much are you paying?
For real.
Let's see. I'll get back to you. How much are poker lessons? Like $200 an hour?
You asked one of the most
$1,000
expensive
an hour?
person in the world.
Jake, are
Well,
you
she has
a poker
expensive
coach?
taste,
An
so-
expensive?
I've done coaching.
Are you the most expensive person in the world? Is
No,
that
I know
I didn't
that.
say the most expensive.
one of the most expensive?
I said one of the most qualified.
How much in tournament winnings do you have? Over 4 million?
Right around there.
3.8, right? I'm
Like
guessing. 4? Wow, I just guessed that.
Nailed it.
You didn't
You
Google
just
it?
handed Bob to it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't actually. I'm just guessing.
It's a guess then.
Yeah.
How do you come up with that number?
Yeah. I
Well, you know.
have almost 1 million in tournament endings.
What?
And
Yeah.
Tournament endings.
Endings.
That is kind of how they go. It's just a bunch of
Earnings.
endings.
Raise.
I'm going to
I would
re-raise.
not have guessed that.
I thought I
I thought she
played
was the only one with less.
We raised.
I played one no limit tournament like 4 years ago at Brigada. It was a $1,000 buy-in.
How bored were
But
you?
like 5 hours in, I left my chips. The guy's under the gun in the tank. I left.
You
They
can't
gave us
outplay me, Teddy.
they gave us
11?
20K.
No,
I had
just put that in.
19,000, and
No, I
in
said
5
I'm gonna
hours in, I
re-raise.
left the chips. It was
All right.
back to the live game.
How rich?
I said this is not for me. No limit tournaments, not for me.
My hand was so good.
It was, but not
I didn't think there was any way I wasn't going to get this hit flop.
I had the
You
best.
found it.
Yeah, I had the best hand.
You solved the Rubik's Cube.
Yep, this was all going in.
Helped create that. I hope you're happy.
I'm happy-ish. I was playing so well in the poker tournament, and now here I am,
In the loser's lounge.
dripping off my money like nasal drip.
Schindler up with up to about
Bad
40K.
cocaine.
No, he's in the game for about 40K.
Correct.
Keep in mind.
He is actually down a little bit with 39,000 in front of him in this game. It's Mike SIgel who's the big winner.
What is a water chestnut?
I don't know, but Phil once told me to play tight like a water chest.
We raised.
There's the tight like a water chestnut comment.
It's one of my favorite sayings to ever use. I'm going to try to use it in every show or every live stream I ever do.
Jennifer just said that Phil Locke, her boyfriend, told her to play like that. Play tight like a water chestnut.
They're like
The clear thing.
pale white.
See, I would have never thought that a water chestnut was particularly tight.
It's really hard.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Saying
Ace high flop.
being waterproof, right? Like a frog's ass.
A couple of diamonds out there. Pair of tens is the best hand right now.
That's what,
Checks
that's
around.
What a water chestnut.
Turns kind of an irrelevant 4.
I heard clam's ass. I never heard of a frog's ass.
Yeah, well, frog's ass is waterproof.
I'm going to put this out right now to induce people to tune into the live feed.
Is it looking any good?
So they could hear our Algonquin
Yeah,
table
I was checking it out.
caliber
It was just
conversation.
I'll retweet it.
Okay. Okay, but I'm not gonna tag everybody because it'll take forever.
425.
So I'm just gonna say, unless everyone wants to tag themselves, here I'll do that. That's best.
That's how Mike used to play
Yeah,
tag in the neighborhood. No one would play with him, so he'd say, "I'm it," and he would run around the tree.
Marcus bets with a 10, and he can bet with a little bit more aggression because he doesn't have to worry about his kicker. He has 10s and 4s with an ace kicker.
Right.
And the way that hand played out, very unlikely any opponent would have
I would never be on my phone.
an ace.
Oh, thank you. What did?
You're not answering.
You saved me some money. Okay, I'm gonna crop it. So we don't need to see our legs, right? No. Okay. Crop it. Just get faces in.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Oh, there's somebody in the
I
background
had no
watching.
idea you could
I
do
don't know
alerted
that.
shit.
Yeah, you can crop it. Yeah.
That must be the updated version. I still have stars instead of hearts.
Apply.
I'm a little behind.
You do know.
I do, I swear.
You can't know. When they updated it, all the stars turned into hearts.
I promise, I'm not lying.
You've got a renegade phone.
A renegade.
He's got the Spider-Man edition.
You probably don't press the upgrade, right? Wow, he has stars instead of hearts.
Wow, I'm so jealous.
Oh, that's amazing.
What was that about, Jennifer?
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Done? Okay, live streaming now. This is like an ad. Live streaming.
Well, you're trying to get paid, right?
Is she tweeting this out?
Trying to get people to
I hope
tune
that
in.
she's talking about our stream. Might be a little confusing to watch this at the table, considering we're on a half-hour delay.
Plug in there. Big.
Yeah.
Big for
You
my,
know how many followers of the game?
it's big for my Twitter career, Jen. You're really doing wonders for my Twitter career.
I am?
Yeah, if I get tagged, it's really just wonders.
come in and get it.
for my Twitter career.
Phoenix saying, I remember her from Chucky,
Live
Jennifer
streaming
Tilly.
now, Poker Night TV.
A new Bride of Chucky coming out later this year.
Oh,
Actually,
really?
she's filming one later this year. 2016, I should say.
Okay.
With, not say, watch.
Check.
843,
Watch
Schindler's
me
Tens
outplay these fishes.
in the lead.
I'll just say, I'll
He's going to bet. Those green chips, $25. Black chips, $100. Purple chips are $500, and the orange ones are $1,000.
It's all happening now at Poker Night TV. Oh wait, an all new, super exciting. Okay, everybody, put your tag in. Everyone who's on Twitter, and don't press in until it goes all the way around the table.
Laake called. It's kind of an interesting call.
Heads up.
I assume he's calling here to set up some sort of a play, and not just because his pair of threes might be good.
Yep.
I mean, his pair of threes very well could be good, and he knows that.
That's why I identify with it.
Okay, cool.
Did someone not give you the
I'm
tip?
just going to check this back, though.
First hand? This is your first
Have not had a lot of heads-up hands between these two pros today. I know there were two other people in it before, but they have not played very many hands against each other today.
Maybe Laake just figured I don't need to bluff at it. I'll just make the best hand. I'll hit my 5-outer.
That is a good strategy.
Yeah, actually, it was less than a 5-outer because he could not catch the ace of hearts. 4-outer.
Okay, now hand it to the other.
Who's going to bet now?
What's that?
Can you put your Twitter in there?
I don't have
Oh, you don't have
Twitter,
one?
no.
Okay, I'll wait till these two are not in hand.
Now here's something interesting. If Laake had thought, well, my pair of threes can be good because Jake could have
I don't
ace-king
even go on, I don't even
here.
on Facebook. I have one.
Well, now the ace comes, and now Laake bets with two pair in the hope that Jake
Nobody
does, in
wants to
fact, have ace-king.
Let's it go.
Because if you lost, you're going to get that one. Yeah, that's true.
I folded
That's you,
ace
right?
jack.
No, he put it in.
Paul Harris alongside me. Call St. Louis is home.
Changed yours.
Delete
I don't know who
that.
that is.
Is Hold'em your favorite game or no?
Yeah, I
is.
play some PLO.
You're almost like Phil, except
But,
for you have an extra.
In St. Louis, Big O has become very, very big lately.
Or lucky.
And
For
unfortunately,
those people who don't know exactly what Big O is, explain it to our viewers.
it's Omaha with 5 cards, and it's played high-low. You got 5 cards in your hand,
Last name before
and you're playing
you said
high-low.
something about it.
So,
8 qualifier.
yes.
Oh, you did say that?
Yeah.
I thought you said something else.
So there are a number of hands that
Oh, that's
there
what you
are
said.
no
Okay,
low,
yeah,
and the high will
that's what you
scoop.
said.
Correct.
We don't forget
You
what
have top
people
two,
say.
Mike?
If your board comes
We don't forget.
2 pair, 9s, and kings with an ace,
I had ace jack.
there's not going to be a low.
I
Just
had
to
ace
give you an
jack.
example.
Yeah, we played Big O in some games in LA. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's a game where a lot of amateurs get kind of chewed up and spit out.
Yes. A lot of people who play it think that ace-deuce in your hand must be good because you're probably going to get in there on the low, and they end up getting quartered, or even worse, sixth.
Yeah, you had a
Yeah, I love the guys who have, with a low on the board already. I love the guys who get it all in with, like, bottom set.
Yeah.
With no
I actually would
redraw.
have called.
Bottom
him.
set, no redraw, and no low draw. So you're already going for half the pot.
Right.
And there's a good chance that you're already crushed. And if you're not crushed, there's a good chance your opponents are, They've got wraps on you,
Drink real quick,
flushes, all sorts of things.
I'll
Realize
throw my money in
when
cash.
everybody's got 5 cards, bottom set's just not a very good hand.
Right. So that,
we got some action here, though. How's this? So Marcus was the original raise.
8-7, I had 2 jacks.
Yeah, 2 jacks.
Tilly has
All in for
3
19
bet.
million.
Back over to Marcus. And he's got to decide, do I want to go to war with Ace Jack? Do I want to gamble? And this is going to be a tough spot because when you think that you are a better player than the players at your table, a lot of times you don't want to gamble. But if you're always avoiding the gamble, sometimes you can be sitting around waiting for a better spot for a long, long time.
Yep.
It's kind of a fine line you got to walk.
This is also a tough situation because he's out of position.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah.
Sorry, Cullen.
Much for.
I'll stop.
Found a way to win. Just couldn't do it at the time.
I did give you a window there.
So you get a 3 bet, you get a 4 bet, back over to Marcus, and he's going to give this one up. It's a good laydown.
Yep.
You know, I think, while we have seen Tilly 4 bet late in the past, I think if you're Marcus, you're just like, you're hoping. You're just hoping that it's some sort of a coin flip.
And what are you hoping to flop?
Well, I mean, when you're getting it in. I mean, you're not going to just call. She's not deep enough. You're going to call. You're going to get it in and just hope you're hoping that she's got 10s.
Yeah.
You're hoping she's got king queen suited.
Right.
I just don't think she has enough of that in her range.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Sorry, my name ain't Earl. Apparently, I'm not GTO right now.
Is that what it said?
Never mind.
Yeah, and you know.
And thank you to Nick Triple G for the kind words.
I'll just be pretty.
Okay.
That's what I do.
I never will.
ES1.
What I was saying before about Big O in St. Louis is it has pushed PLO high almost out of the picture.
Better than Ace Jack suited?
And
Yeah, Ace Jack is good.
that annoys me because I'd much rather play the PLO high as a deep stack game than chop pot games.
That would have been fun.
Thought about that.
Then it would have been one of those big
Big
hands that
08.
they feature in the commercial, you know, you going like.
Once again, thanks for joining us, guys.
You going like that?
Yeah.
A lot of fun here. Jennifer Tilly, Mike Dentale, Mike SIgel. Some big names. Paul Harris, David Tuckman here. Anonymously, Poker 4.
I can't.
Uperdo.
Give off too many tells.
Poker Stud 99.
Then let's not.
Wet Bry. Lose. Nick GG, New York City. All in the chat room, guys. Thanks for joining us. Tilly with Ace 8.
Okay.
Rocha's going to give it up. I'd love to get. Can we get a chip stack pretty quick?
That's for you, Janice. Thank
Curious to
you.
see where we're at. Hopefully we'll get that up for you soon.
Release the Kraken. There you go.
Have you
Same
guys
time.
watched that show, The Shark Tank?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay, so Joe Stapleton is so funny because he keeps saying release the Kraken when they come out of the. Well, the way he does it is funny. Did you see Ronnie Bardo, the second episode he did?
Shark
Tank. No, Shark Tank.
With Mark Cuban and
Yeah, Phil loves that.
Well, you can
show.
release the Krakens from there too, because the
Yeah.
people come down that hallway, the smoke's flaring. And
Phil loves that Shark Cage. Shark Tank. He likes Shark
That's
Tank.
what I thought you were talking about for a second.
Shark
But yeah.
Cage is sometimes it's really, really bad, and then sometimes it's really, really good. So nobody's seen the Shark Cage.
No, I've seen the Ronnie
I've heard
Bardo
about it.
one.
I saw the Ronnie Bardo
Where
clip.
Ronnie got
Everybody
both
watched Shark
by Miss Finland.
Yeah. The Ronnie Bardo and the Miss Finland was some of the best TV I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and then he
I
came back for
completely
more.
agree.
So you have to see the second season Ronnie Bardo episode. It's epic.
Does he get
Does
bluffed
he get
again?
revenge?
It's not as epic as Miss Finland.
No.
It's just funny. He's a funny guy.
Good guy.
I'm going to re-raise you because that's what I'm told a person should do in these circumstances. Not let the
Punish him.
geniuses in.
450.
That's what the book said.
There may be a genius already in the
450
hand.
for about.
It could be you. It could be me. No,
It's
there.
the you.
What?
Here's Tilly 3-betting
I'd
with
slow down
fours
if I were
against
you,
Laake
really,
with his
honestly.
kings.
That's about it.
Okay. Well, you know, he just made it. Now you have to call because he brought you in. I understand these things. I should get poker lessons. I'd give him cheap.
I would pay.
$50 an hour. No, it's not that. It's not cheap.
Dentale is going to be sorry he threw in that
Don't
450
re-raise
because it's
we want to see a flop.
Jake wants to sign up.
going to get
We
re-raised
want to
here.
see a cheap flop. We're going to see a flop regardless. You can do whatever you want. It's a free world,
50
I'm
an hour,
told.
you want one?
Yeah, booked.
Oh, you're in the hand too?
40 hours.
Okay, I should have kept my mouth shut.
Obviously they have.
Everybody wants to play with Jenny and Mike.
Rocha calls with the threes.
Yeah. I'm going to stop talking because it's unfair to the other people in the
I
hand.
shouldn't even have to say it. Right?
Once again, silence descends.
His mind is already made
How much
up.
do you make it here with your kings?
No fun a guy to play like a man.
Raise it up.
1,800?
1,350.
1,350.
I mean, Dentale and Rocha are in there for 450 each.
50.
So, you know, traditional 2.5, 3x 4-bet, probably not enough.
There's 2 green chips.
You're going to make it a little bit bigger. And yeah, he made it 2,350. I mean,
2350.
This is confused as me.
this raise is going to take it down so often, but that's okay. I mean, there's so much dead money in the pot. I mean, you're talking about, you know, $1,500 in there already.
Absolutely.
And the problem is if you get one person to call, there's a good chance you're going to see this flop, you know, 4 ways.
In case you didn't.
And you're out of position. So I don't mind the sizing at all.
No.
You know, maybe I make it 2,100, but, you know, somewhere in that neighborhood.
It's right on fire.
I think 1850 actually might be a little bit small.
450. And that was my logic for calling 450.
You are no longer nice Mike.
He's
You're-
neutral. He's neutral, Mike.
Relatively piece of shit, Mike.
I'm going to call you. No, I'm going to call.
Whoa.
No, that's not. No,
Completely out.
We've got to be.
I mean, you understand there's a really good chance that you're not going to get any action. And you're just kind of hoping that Tilly's got jacks and she just goes
I'm
with
not even
it.
going to
It's
stop.
not relative,
People
it's quite
exploit my
accurate.
strategy.
quite factual.
Okay. I honestly feel like I made that happen with my yucky mouth. From now on, if I'm in a hand, I'm not going to say a single word.
I call.
I'm betting over.
We all are the same exact way there.
Yeah.
I instigated action. I did, didn't I? I did, right. It gives you the idea.
I would take the over if you set the time at
You did?
any
You have
amount.
your own idea?
I generally know what my options are.
Wow.
Or my language, guys.
Yeah, that was really
Yeah,
that
guy.
was
I don't know where that
So
came
out of
from.
line.
That was,
That's
that
I
was
heard the
Spirit
F
of
word.
hostility.
I heard the F word earlier, and I don't know. I got
Twitter Alex came out.
Yeah.
Live Alex is back.
Back in my cage. I'm sorry.
Heads up.
Check.
I mean well.
Shut up.
Wow.
Except when you're wearing a condom on your head, right?
I have to like rethink what I think about people at the table.
Check.
Like now, nice Mike is hustler Mike. Wily, crafty
Check.
Mike. And now you,
Thanks, I think.
nice young Alex, clean cut young Alex, is potty mouth.
I'm sorry, I got comfortable.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What part of it was clean cut?
I don't know.
I was wondering the same thing. I was like, feel pretty rugged right now.
Don't get Schindler's hand there. We are using RFID chips, and I'd say they're about 94.7% effective. Every once in a while, the player doesn't put the card in the right spot. You might get a defective card.
Alright, sure.
It happens.
I think you had nothing.
Got about 20 minutes left in tonight's show. Once again, we are back at it tomorrow,
All a dream.
12:45 Eastern Time, here at twitch.tv/PokerNightTV.
With a different lineup?
I had
Yes.
a dream of you declaring that you were all in.
You did?
That was my dream.
Wow, how strong was that?
Wow.
That actually was my dream.
Really? Wow. And then what did you have in your hands? That's important thing. The nuts or?
Same thing he has every night in his hands.
All right. That's
I do not have 2 kings every night.
Same thing. I told you he does the alien thing. He lays on his non-dominant hand and gets it numb. You know that trick?
You don't lay, you sit.
Marcus
Oh,
with
you
the
sit
raise
on
in
it.
a
I didn't know exactly.
kind of a weird spot.
Planning for later.
Make sure
I'm
you
all
do
for
non-dominant
mixing it up. I mean, they're playing relatively shorthanded. It's 7-handed poker.
So lay on them both.
The problem in this particular game is you're just not getting raises through. Like, it's not like you're going to get a raise and just pick up the $175 that's out there. You're going to see a flop 3-4 ways.
Yep.
And then what do you do with your 10-4 clubs?
Right.
I mean, I think there are games, and there's a dynamic
Yeah, shrinking. Right?
where raising with 10-4s, raising with any two can be very profitable.
Yep.
But you've got to be, you've got to have the ability to adjust your game. And to me, this is not the game where I'm doing it.
No.
Who has the
Because
I
this
agree.
is the flop that's going to come out. Then what?
I agree with you because, as we've seen, Tilly and
You know
Dentale
that, Jen? How you know?
never laying their hand down.
Well, I mean, it turns out, Tilly and Rocha, and they've got some hands, but Dentale calling a raise with 9-8 offsuit. It's just, you're just at this particular table, you are going to have to see flops, and you're basically setting yourself up for failure.
You have to catch him there.
So they turn purple.
When you see the serious guy,
That is cool.
Rocha's just going to call. Actually, that would be a spot where
It makes sense, though, right? If you think
very
about it,
conventional, a very conventional play is call.
Yep. I might want to raise it up to get any straight draws out of there.
Well, I don't necessarily want the straight draws out of there. I just wanted to pay for it. I think sometimes it's a misnomer that you're putting money in there to protect your hand.
Yeah.
I just want to get called by worse.
Yeah.
Or get better to fold.
Right.
And by raising on a board like that, I can kind of get sneaky value because somebody might think, well, what are you raising with? You don't have a set of queens. You wouldn't raise with like king queen. So you're basically telling me you have 6-5 or a set of 5s or a set of 6s, and they might actually kind of look you up with, they might be sticky with 9s. They might not go anywhere. Just kind of a way to mix up your play. Marcus is just continuing to bluff at this. He's drawing dead.
And Rocha is just calling, not giving his hand away, knows he has the best hand.
Dentale, though, is now double gutted. I think he's a little bit nervous about Dentale. And Dentale looking for a 10 or a 7. Instead, he hits an 8. Pretty mandatory bet if it gets checked to Rocha.
You're supposed to buy shots, Mike. You're supposed to buy shots.
Wow.
You lost time, right?
Hey, Marcus just started from the very beginning of this hand.
Yep.
I am bluffing at this hand, start to finish.
Fireballs and one.
I am blowing up money for no reason.
Although at this point, if you have ace queen,
One Grey Goose and one Patron.
Is there any
you basically have a bluff catcher.
I'll have one.
I don't think that Marcus is betting king queen for value. And if he's not betting king queen for value, ace queen is just a bluff catcher at this point. This is a spot where Marcus just started from the beginning. I'm going to bluff, and I'm going to continue bluffing. I am telling the story that I have aces or kings. And the funny thing is, if you're a Rocha, because you have an ace in your hand, there's a good chance that you actually think your opponent's got kings.
I think we're so happy you came back.
It's good to be back.
I'll revert back to what I said earlier. I think in a traditional cash game, he's going to let it go. Wow. I think in a traditional cash game, look at Dentale. Can Dentale call him? If Dentale calls, Rocha's going to lose his mind.
I'm really, really surprised that Rocha's laid out there.
Ace queen is just a bluff catcher.
And I know he's got Dentale behind him, and I understand all of that stuff, but I don't think I could find a fold there. But then again, I probably would have raised at some point along the way here, and we wouldn't be in this situation.
In all fairness,
You did that with such dominance on the river. That was just showed such strength, but the way the hand plays out makes no sense.
He's right.
So hard for you to betting 9-10. It's so. In a cutoff, I just don't. I'm lost. I guess it's a set of 8s. Not betting that hand. Not betting that hand. Not betting that hand. Turn this set of jacks. Why do I do this to myself?
You mean play poker or?
I was wondering when Mike SIgel was going to speak up. I will tell you that in the past, when Mike SIgel has talked to Mike Dentale during a hand like this, Dentale has found a fold.
Give me 1 minute.
I know that because I was in a hand against him earlier, and I wish he hadn't.
They edit out the empty space when they put it together.
I'm way underpaid. Way underpaid.
I don't know, I guess I should fold, but I really don't want to. I'm just confused.
Feel better for full jack to really good hand.
What?
Would you feel better for full jack to really good hand?
I didn't feel that.
All right, I promise. 60 seconds, I won't take longer. Promise.
I was going to lose sleep tonight.
Promise.
I was going to lose sleep tonight.
60 seconds.
I wanted to see it live.
60 seconds. Me and Jake have sex. Quick.
Yeah.
Doesn't take me long.
All right, you started up.
Yeah,
That's what I say to Phil. No, I'm kidding.
Clearly three's enough. Three's company.
I told the girl the other day, give her the best 48 seconds
You're getting
she
greedy
ever had.
now.
I said, no lie.
One did too many.
Hey!
Yes!
So that's okay.
Cocktails!
Yeah, where are Mike,
Minutes up, Mike.
your minute's up.
I just
And
did.
it's, we got 6 hand
Show me.
games to play.
Show this one?
Well, you can take it. It can take its time.
Show them one time. It's on a stream anyway. The game's over in 10 minutes.
No, it's not. Tap, 15, tap, man.
We'll be with that attitude.
Wow, I hate to fold this one. You show one time?
Your 60 seconds is up.
Nobody called the
That's
clock on.
Fold?
Yeah.
4-7.
Wow.
What did you have?
4-10.
This was what I was calling you.
Whether you bluffing? Is that, I don't see
So
how
you
that
made your best card in a
But
river
you just
fold?
don't shut
Not
the
just anything
fuck up for
on
1 second, man. He just never lets me play a hand. I just chirp and
He
chirp
saved me.
and chirp.
Thank God.
Yeah,
You
you
just
have to
don't
be-
shut
You
the
have to be
fuck up.
quiet when Mike
I
gets
play
in the
poker, you don't,
Right.
bro.
Yeah,
Just
right.
shut
Right.
up,
I know you
please.
did.
Mike,
I know you had the best
Listen,
for sure.
it's 8:30. You won like
was no question.
$7,000 that you still have left.
Wow. Nice hand, man.
Wow.
Oh, Lord.
He said,
I
did
can
you
go
hit a
3K
set of
way
8s? He
behind.
has 2
Said
8s.
eight.
Yeah, he has 2 8s.
That was the
I didn't like that when he said that.
The trick question.
Wow.
Oh,
Well, that one's going to be embarrassing. The little old me. The little CC.
what did you vote?
You gotta stay quiet. Just do me one favor. I love you to death. Just shut the fuck up when I'm in a hand. That's all I ask. You're clueless in this game. You have no clue.
I
You're
see.
fucking clueless.
I see.
I'm gonna be the one to tell you. Everybody's thinking it, but I'm gonna tell you. You're clueless.
I see. How you doing today?
Please.
Yes.
Yes.
Just bad luck.
We'll pay the overtime.
Yeah. It's just bad luck.
150, so that raise it up.
You would fold top 2 for 3,000. I'm calling bottom pair for 3,000.
Oh,
It's
you
good.
called.
And it's
Oh,
good.
you did. You called. Oh, somebody missed. Can you give him back that pot? He said he called. Did you guys get that on the camera? I think they missed it. I think you forgot to put the 3,000 in. You smelt it. He couldn't
did.
pull the trigger.
He talked himself
Yeah, he
in.
talked
I'm like,
himself
oh,
out.
fuck.
He smelt it. He said, doesn't make sense.
Heads up.
Hold the set.
You waited all night for the 10-4, huh?
That was gold.
Yeah.
That was.
Just pure gold. Love it.
Ate some big folds and
All the
found
time.
the 10-4 suited.
God, you fucking do it to me every time. You just don't shut the fuck
I had
up.
one
Seriously, man.
Impossible.
Okay.
That was
Yep.
literally impossible.
Obviously, but I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'll tell you, in that situation, Marcus is very happy that Mike SIgel talked because he irritated Dentale enough to lay it down. But earlier, when I had
I
it
don't think
against
he was
him,
going to call anyway. In all fairness, I don't think the talking does anything.
Expect that of this.
I mean, he needs a scapegoat. You can blame a dealer, you can blame the talking, you can do this. You're going to call, you're going to call. I mean, frankly, the table was quiet for they gave him 90 seconds.
Oh, I know.
And then they started talking. It's a
I know.
TV show. I had no problem with it.
I know.
Shit my face after
I'm
I
just
flopped
telling you, in all the hands I've watched Dentale play today,
No, you
one where Mac Lance was getting on him and one where SIgel was getting on him. When they did, he folded.
If you show me a time that he calls,
Yeah.
then I might agree with you. But I haven't seen a time where it's like he's made a big call like that.
Oh, I agree.
I've seen him tank fold.
Yeah.
I see him talk it through like this doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't bet that. You wouldn't bet this. You wouldn't bet that. Maybe you got a set of jacks. You know, he talked it through, but then when it came down to it,
They usually call like 6.
you know, he didn't. He had the instincts, but he didn't have the follow through. And frankly, I go back to what SIgel says earlier.
15 minutes off?
He's entertaining enough, and that was entertaining enough that I don't mind that he took the time. I think it made good TV.
Yep.
I don't think the talking had anything to do with him folding, though. I just don't see him making big folds, big calls. And by the way, the time when he made the laydown against you,
Yeah.
he didn't have anything.
I know.
Okay, so he wasn't calling.
I know.
Okay.
That's why I was willing to make him that bet.
Right, but he wasn't going to call anyway. So that's what I mean. But that one, he actually talked it through, but just doesn't make the call.
How does he get to have that?
And generally speaking, it is bad etiquette to talk in a big hand, but
Well, that's one thing.
it's a TV show. It's a little different, guys. Ace-Queen here for SIgel, and he's got a lock on it. He's not going to go anywhere. Laake could get himself in trouble. He's got King-Queen as we move on. Schindler with a gut shot. No, he doesn't have a gut shot. My apologies. He's got nothing. He's got Jack high. And look here, sure enough, bet raise. And Laake's not going to go anywhere. And this pot could get real big real quick. Laake does have the king of spades in his hand. Turns to 9. King, Jack got there. Check, check. Pot is just about on $4,000. Running 9s, another spade out there. And 1,500 here from SIgel. Laake's hand almost too strong to turn into a bluff.
2 seconds.
So he's just going to call.